I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we're getting deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Oh, family, you know it's time. We got to go and take a look at the interview that Kamammy did with CNN. Oh, we're going to go through all the parts of it. Oh, and then some. Oh, we got a lot to cover here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear over here, because you know, PukeTube gets ready to play games when you go after the Democrats and their shillbilly flunkies, okay? So they're probably going to be trying to mess with things. Can everybody hear me loud and clear in the chat room? Give me a thumbs up confirmation if you can hear your brother loud and clear. If not, we shall get that problem rectified, because we got a lot of ground to cover here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, we do. We gonna give them Democrat shillbillies the blues. Oh, yes, we gonna give them the blues tonight. I'm gonna have fun doing it. Y'all gonna have fun doing it, because, listen, all jokes aside, let me tell y'all something, man. And I'm saying this to you Democrat shillbillies that may be listening to this broadcast, whether it's live or recorded, okay? Let me tell you something. What you pulled in California, oh, we're not gonna ever forget that. See, let me tell you how I'm looking at it. On a political level, because I've been one of the main people saying this for the longest. It's been time to give the Democrats and any of these political parties that don't actually come with tangible policies for us, and then you're going to insult us, foundational Black American freedmen, to our faces and put illegal aliens before us. Let me tell you something. Get used to two words: political punishment. What I want to see, even though that happened in California to our brothers and sisters, they are of our lineage nationwide. So all of us should have the mindset, if you wrong us politically anywhere, then you'll be punished by all of us everywhere, okay? That's how it is. You touch one of us in any state and mistreat our people, okay, cool. Might not have nothing to do with us over here in Georgia, but we're not going to forget what you did in California, because you'll try it with us next. So get ready for a cold November, Democrats. Oh, get ready for a cold November. Yeah, we gonna get on the blues, okay? So I'm just letting y'all know the shillbillies are gonna be mad after this broadcast tonight, trust me, because I've long said that Kamammy is a blithering idiot. Let me tell you something. Just because somebody goes to a college and gets a degree, it's not a mark or a sign of your intelligence. You got plenty of dumb idiots with degrees running around here that come from these colleges, okay? And I'm like this, I don't care how intelligent you are, and she's not Black, but I'm saying this to the Black shillbillies. If you come from these colleges, HBCUs or whatever, and you're not using any of that for the benefit of the community, I mean, what good is your intelligence? You use your intelligence to sell your people out? Nah, that day is ending. And see, I'm going to tell you right now, should the election go like I think it's going to go, even though the orange man is doing everything he can to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, if he can just keep him and Vance's mouth together and quit pandering to that white supremacist base of theirs, he should be able to beat this woman. She shouldn't be nowhere close to him. And see, I'm going to call it. After this debate they have, that's going to determine the election right there. Mark my words. That's going to determine it. I can't wait to see it. So just know that's going to be the tone of the broadcast tonight. We're going to hit them with some true bombs over here, and it is what it is. So with that said, let me scroll up and greet my esteemed guests I see in the building and make sure I see everybody. I see the good brother Seven Skills in here, Tanisha Murdoch, good Dr. Chanel Phillips, Scylla T is in here, my brother Bruce, B1 Vanessa Jones is in here. I see the brilliant librarian Patricia Jenkins in here. I see Only Pamela's Way, my good brother CRU Reality. I see Andre Mobley Sr. Let's see, make sure I'm missing anybody. I see Terrell Evans, the good brother Derek Parker. Tabby M, welcome to you, sister. I see 225 girl in here. Stud Z is in the house. Salute to you, sister. Let's see, and a salute to the sister Stud Z for the cash up. See people showing love already. Had to shout y'all from the last time we was over there on Patreon. Got an announcement to make about that for the family that didn't join us over there. Let's see, I see who else is in here. Foodophilia's in here. Let's see, who else do I see? Sandra Evans. I see the pure filmmaker Smooth T Mac, Charles Gibson, Hot One, and my brilliant, gorgeous Lieutenant Tam Chan is in here. Salute and welcome to all of you that's joined us in attendance here tonight. So, briefly about Patreon, there is a new tier over there because I told y'all the white supremacists were hopping their little dusty asses over there with their little mayonnaise jars in hand and, their little cousin living ways. But let me tell you something. They got smart. They thought they were smart. They thought because they wasn't really saying it and that I wouldn't catch them. But there was something that they were doing over there, and I mentioned on Patreon. I'm going to mention it here. I don't want to put them up on game over here, but I caught it, and I said, okay, I got something for you. And I've been meaning to create another tier for a long time. So this time, they're going to be too broke to get in this tier, okay? Because my thing is, my Patreon isn't about trying to profit. It's just a place to have secondary information without so much censorship until, we develop things like our website and apps and such, because we on these platforms, we're at YouTube's mercy. One of the things I'm going to start doing in the new tier on Patreon is utilizing Rumble a lot more, because one thing I'll say about Rumble is they let everybody have their fair say. And I'm like this, I don't want the white supremacists or our people censored. So it's going to be a lot going on over there, and I'm going to be utilizing Rumble to sometimes put uploads on there. We're eventually going to start live streaming on Rumble over there. Okay, so just know the new tier that we have, they ain't got two nickels to rub together. Because, see, contrary to popular belief, the poor 3-2 Tony cousin loving white supremacists, man, they don't have no bread like that. They don't. So the little thing that you were doing, white supremacists, I caught it. I just sit back and watch. I don't always say it. I'm going to see how long they think I don't know about this. So now they're not going to be over there. Trust me. Okay. And the new tier, y'all will see it over there. It's highlighted if you ever go to the Patreon. I already got, I'm glad I mentioned that now. I put the Children of the Chalk series over there because from now on, it's going to be broadcast over there live. Any new Children of the Chalk series, because, we was giving them the blues with that over here on YouTube. And boy, I hit them so bad with it. Boy, they're like, I can't take it. Damn it, we got to make him take that down. Strike his channel, flag it, age restrictions, videos, get him. Damn it, he's got to stop telling the truth about our people. And boy, I was giving the blues. They was singing. Oh, they was emailing me, crying left and right. But just know, sometimes, I might drop some here or there on here, but the main bulk of the series is going to be on Patreon from now on, okay? Because we're not done with them by sight. Trust me, in the next couple of days, I got one coming up over there. So it's going to be that. And I also thought of something else. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this a series or not, but I'm definitely going to drop it as a stream in the new tier on Patreon. Man, it's so much serious business to take care of, but I saw this. I'm telling y'all, man, it's so damn funny that I got to do some content on this. I might have to start a Thotty Karate series. I might have to, because this foolishness that I saw, man, it's like, look, some of these people get on the internet and I guess the thoughts think they be cooking, man. And I'm like, sometimes they say stuff and then, especially on X, boy, what I found over there, boy, this got to be the dumbass tweet of the year. I'm not sure if I should put it in the make stupid ashamed again series that I'm going to have coming, or to just start its own series. I don't know. But either way, I'm definitely going to do that stream and just decide where I'm going to put that. I'm going to keep on going because, I've seen a lot of tweets like the ones I'm talking about on X. But, man, this one, family, like I said, y'all will see, for those of you that joined the second tier over there, Black Ocean Zone 2, you're going to see real soon, okay? Because, back to business, that's probably going to be the next stream that I do over there. Because that one, boy, and look, I'm like this. I'm not hoe-hating, okay? I am not thought-hating. Get your money, thoughts, when especially if you collecting it from these goofy selves out here, get all you can get from them. But only thing I'm saying is, stop making yourself look so silly online. There's some decorum to whoring, believe it or not, okay? There is, but we'll get to that on Patreon, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I see y'all laughing over there. Trust me, listen, let me tell you something. If you saw what I saw, man, y'all gonna be dying. Put it like this. Those that join the new tier over there, when that stream drop, it's probably going to be in the next 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Because, somebody got to stop this foolishness, man. These turbo thoughts have to stop crashing out, okay? To get them from behind the wheel, we need an intervention program. I might have to come up with a new commercial, too. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Let me stop that. Y'all discourage me. We got AI today. You know what I'm saying? You can do all kinds of stuff here with my mind, the stuff that I could come up with. Y'all seen the foolishness I come up with just on a low key. So discourage me from this. I'm trying to be better, okay? Y'all help me out. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I digress because now, we got to get the sponsors rolling before we get into the main subject matter here tonight. Oh, boy, your girl Kamammy, boy, she is out here on a rampage. You hear me? She is out here on a rampage. Family, let me show you something. Let me show you. This is what we're going to do, okay? New dance craze, all right? New dance craze. Now, you probably like, what's the new dance craze, GBS? Well, I saw this floating around. I said, you know what? I'm going to roll with this. We need to present this to my audience over here tonight because Kamammy deserves to be clowned. The entire Democrat Party deserves to be clowned, okay? The Biden-Harris administration, Harris Waltz. Here's the thing. This is what we're going to call the new dance craze. Dancing around an issue without addressing the question shall henceforth... Hold on. I'm not reading it. Let me put on the other voice. Dancing around an issue without addressing the question shall henceforth be known as the Harris Waltz. In the quote. How many of y'all ready to get down with the Harris Waltz? That's the new dance craze sweeping America. Because, boy, that blithering idiot will not answer the question. Let me tell you something. They know this woman is stupid. A lot of people keep trying to shy away from saying that. Man, no, not over here. We're going to call it what it is. That's why she's always cackling all over the damn place. Only thing she knows how to do is cackle, okay? Cackle and talk about her imaginary mean pot of greens with the tub wash seasoning that she got going on, okay? The cackler. She's a damn Batman villain, okay? The cackler. She wants to be the cackler in chief, okay? She ski-weed her way to VP, and now she wants to be the cackler in chief. Is she going to get y'all vote? Has she earned anybody vote in here? Because, see, maybe, because we got to be fair to Kamammy. I get it. Shillbillies, Democrat shillbillies, I apologize. I've been somewhat rough. I apologize, okay? We're going to give Kamammy a fair shake. So I'm going to present, ladies and gentlemen, some evidence to you, and you can tell me if this persuades you to vote for Kamammy. Because, maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe she's got all the answers, ski-wee skank that I'm sorry. Maybe she's got some answers that I'm not looking at, okay? So I'm going to be fair here, and I'm going to present something and see if this persuades you to vote for Kamammy, okay? And shout out to the good brother, Black Alpha Network, because I saw this, man. I think this brother got this first, man. Y'all listen to this if you hadn't seen it already.
Union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Oh, shillbillies, don't you tell me to stop calling her Kamammy because she put on a fake mammy accent. Hey, listen, hold on. Let me run that back. Let me run it back. You better thank a union member. What in the royal blue hell? Man, hold on.
You better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Man, bring back the damn Sandman from Showtime at the Apollo. You know what? I'll tell you what we need out there. I'm going to tell you what I wish I would have had out there. You know what I'm saying? We need to bring back, and some of you younger people are not going to recognize this reference, but we need to bring back the good old brother that would let you know when you've gone too far with the bullshit. We need to bring back Homie the Clown, family, with that damn sock. Bash her ass across the damn head with it. Damn goofy ass accent. This woman is pathetic. She's pathetic, man. Sitting up here insulting our people like that. She wouldn't do that in front of an audience of Asian people. You know what I'm saying? A Hispanic, East Indian. She definitely ain't gonna do it with her people because they don't even fool with her like that. Isn't that something? You notice that the East Indian men and the women ain't really fooling with her like that in large numbers? Huh? And that's her people, because that's what she is. That woman is not black. I do not give a damn who gets mad at me saying that. But see, again, maybe I'm not being fair. So, family, I got some evidence to present to you, and you can decide whether this will get your vote or not. Because maybe if that won't do it for you, maybe this will. You can tell me if you want this to be your new commander-in-chief here.
called for termination of the United States Supreme, the supreme land of our nation, the United States Constitution.
Damn, family. This woman is creating new territories, the supreme land of our nation, the United States Constitution. Now, I've been all over the United States. I have yet to see a place. Now, there might be a place out there called Constitution. There might be, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, she said the supreme land of our nation. You know, hold on. Let's let her say it, because I can't do it like her. I can't. I will not attempt to outdo Kamammy at her idiocy. Let's run it back one more time.
He even called for termination of the United States Supreme, the supreme land of our nation, the United States Constitution.
So it sounded like she was saying Supreme Court and Constitution. She was like, oh, fuck it. Just put all that shit together. Boy, listen, if this heifer doesn't drink, she damn sure smoke. I believe she do both, okay? You're not going to convince me that this woman is sober in any kind of way. But I just had to show y'all a little snippet of things that, that might, convince y'all to vote for Kamammy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Don't never mind the economy and these big areas. Oh, that's not important. That stuff ain't important. But anyway, Chillbillies, because I know how much you like this next sponsor here, I have something special for you, because the Chillbillies are upset at me, ladies and gentlemen. They hate my guts. They're highly perturbed. Chillbillies, calm down. I don't want your little blood pressure to go up and, you turn from blue to red, okay? Because you're running around like a bunch of little goofy Smurfs right now. But, I put it like this. Instead of blue, have you considered orange? Now, why did I say that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you why I said.
President Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag. This is America. This is our land. Please, President Trump, please, I hope you have a plan.
Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
Please, I hope you have a plan.
Yeah. You know, I had to bring the classic back for the Shillbillies. That's why I asked them, instead of blue, have they considered turning orange? I mean, you know, oh boy, they are pissed off right now. Oh, they up in the clouds, family punching the air. Like old buddy in that movie, man. What was it, Minister Society, man? Oh boy, not Minister Society, Boys in the Hood. He punched the air, man. Like Cuba Gooding Jr. punching the air, boy, they mad, swinging. But see, they're gonna be even more mad tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because boy, I'm finna get on their asses with some truth tonight. Oh yes, I am. Because see, first and foremost, before we begin speaking back on the subject of the treachery of the California Legislative Black Caucus. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I want to make sure that all of you are familiar with these Sambozos here. Okay. Go to the website or screenshot this. Let me know if you can see this clearly, because we're going to read some names. Okay. Because see, we need to understand who the culprits of this treachery are. Okay. California Legislative Black Caucus, the CLBC. You're going to get this political punishment for this treachery because, see, it's all come out, and trust me, I'm going to be covering that as well, okay? We know what you did, okay? Gone are the days. See, this is not the 70s and the 80s anymore, and damn sure ain't the 50s where if the mainstream media came out and said something, all we had to do was just trust what you said. Oh, no, that cat has long left the bag. The train is out the station. We can debunk your lies just like that, and if you lying wherever you are, there can be someone with a cell phone or any other device that can send information clear across the country, around the world, and expose you for the bootlicking shillbillies that you are. Let me tell you something. I go harder in the paint on those that wear the uniform of our skin with disgrace, like these shillbillies, because we expect that of the white supremacists. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But these bootlicking maggots right here, oh, let's read the names. Let's get the shillbilly roll call going. Okay, so we have the chair of it, Lori D. Wilson, the vice chair, Stephen Bradford, and I'm going to tell you why I'm putting him in here. Let me go ahead and break that down before I get further into this. Let me tell you why I'm putting his name in here. Yes, he proposed the bill, but see, don't fall for political theater. It is my conjecture, and I believe that what they did, they said, okay, look, we know everybody's been talking about reparations, so one of us, we got to do the good cop, bad cop thing. Pick somebody from amongst us. You be the guy that's going to go out here against all the rest of us. And when you do, we're going to give you some pushback. And then at the end of the day, we're just going to, do what we usually do and try to kick the can down the road, putting the file in an inactive folder and all of that. So his punk ass needs to go too. And I'm going to tell you my strategy for that right after we finish reading these names. So to the next name. Isaac Bryan, the treasurer. Oh, yeah, look at it, man. Yeah, grimy weasel, you. Dr. Akilah Weber, okay. She's the secretary. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we going to read all these names because, see, all of them must get this work because it's time to clean house on these people that are in these committees and these caucuses or whatever. What good are you in there and calling yourself black for when you can't do nothing for black people? See, they all voted yes on that AB 1840 bill, giving all that aid and taxpayer dollars to illegal aliens that hadn't put a dime into this country. Oh, yeah, they got to go. Let's continue reading. Mia Bunta, she's one of the members. Christopher Holden, another member. Dr. Corey Jackson, Kevin McCarty, okay. Now, people are saying that this Kevin McCarty guy is biracial. That look like a damn white man, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's mayonnaise. Till I see some proof, that's a white man, okay? So, here's the other one now. Yeah, we getting into some special bootlegs here. This is that Tina McKenna. I know y'all saw her on there. Oh, just wait till the next broadcast I do on the channel. I'm going to light all of them up. Mike Gibson, okay, Lola Smallwood, Cervezas, whatever it is. She's married to one of the taco tellers, okay? Reggie Byron, Joan Sawyer. Now, this little maggot right here was the one that you saw the clip of running around there. He coming out there mocking the brothers and sisters. Okay. I keep that same laugh there, happy boy. I got a strategy for you because, see, one of the things that we've been doing behind the scenes here and in front of the scenes, we're going to get you about the paint. Oh, yes. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let's read these last names. Shirley Weber, she's the ex officio member. Malia Cohen, okay, and Tony Thurman. Okay, so That's all the names of the treacherous rodents there. And you can go to their website yourself if you want to look that up, if you hadn't screenshotted those names. But now that we've addressed the problem, you know, I'm a solution man. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks about solutions. Where are my voting age Gen Z people? Where are my millennials? Okay, definitely Gen X, but I'm speaking mostly to the younger demographic. Let me encourage you with something. Do not be discouraged. Oh, no, I did not read this to you for you to be discouraged. Be encouraged. Why? Because one of the things about politics is warfare without bloodshed, okay? We know that. So when you're engaged in any type of warfare, one of the first things you want to do is assess the terrain. Now, why am I saying that? Well, you young Gen Z voters and millennials, this is what I would suggest you do. If you're not already on this, all of you under the sound of my voice, and I'm not just talking about California, I'm talking about nationwide. I've been working on this here in my state. I'm talking about nationwide. We need to prepare to organize political punishment for the entire Democrat Party. Get the district maps of wherever you are. Oh, yeah, we're going to get strategic with this. Look at those district maps. Start looking at the demographics, the different, groups that are in there. And mainly, here's the thing that's about to empower the younger people, especially voting age Gen Z. Don't think that these old Sambos have more power than you. Oh, no, they don't. The only reason that they appear to have more power than you is because they come out in numbers and vote. Here's the good news. All of you who are younger people, especially Gen Z, you outnumber them. Why am I saying this? Because young ones listen to the sound of my voice, young adults. Don't you know that if you did this strategy right here, come out to vote in numbers against them, you're gonna win because there's not enough of them to beat you. All you have to do is organize, and then in conjunction with that, choose somebody from amongst you to run for their seats and support them the same way. Two-pronged strategy, okay? See, don't you know that literally you could change the balance of power overnight? And see, this time for us to start talking to our young people like that and letting them know that, hey, you don't have to put up with this. Oh, no, you don't. Look, let me tell you something. The only way that they will be able to beat you is to cheat. That is the only way, because they surely don't have the numbers. Salute to my good brother and battle buddy, Cameron S. Wingfield, for the cash out. Thank you very much. And see, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. The only way they will be able to win is cheap, but it will be so obvious because, see, the popular vote decides your local elections. The Electoral College doesn't have anything to do with your local elections, okay? So that popular vote, let me tell you young people something. You pissed off about that? Time to mobilize nationwide and put a political foot in all of their asses for that treachery that they did, okay? We're going to have to teach these people that if you want to play games with us, we'll play even harder with you. I'm not Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. Nah, when they go low, I go to the depths of hell, okay? That's where I go, the 10th level. Okay, you coming down there with me? Okay, I'm going to have some gasoline cocktails waiting for you to dash on your ass when you get down there too, okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to reserve them some rooms in political hell. So there's my strategy for that. Because everybody like, what's the solution? Oh, we got plenty of solutions. And trust me, I'm already hard at work on this behind the scenes. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. That's as much as I'm going to say on that tonight. Just know that your punishment is coming, okay? There's got to be no way to avoid it. All this mockery that you got going on. You're dancing in front of brothers and sisters like, ha, 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 masses gonna protect me. Okay, we're going to see. Because, see, what you bootlick and shillbillies haven't learned yet, you haven't learned that when the heat comes for you from the black grassroots, your Democrat masters are not going to save you. It's a wrap. You better take a look at this headline we got here. Black Californians warn Newsom, okay, old gruesome Newsom, of direct impact on Harris after Democrats kill slave reparation bills, okay? Now, old Fox News, or as I like to call them, false news, okay? They got this right. There's punishment coming, okay? Oh, there's going to be punishment coming. I'm telling you right now, that was the worst thing you could have ever done. And this is a beautiful position for us to be in, because now we have the opportunity to show them that if you disrespect us that blatantly to our face, you're going to get punishment. Because, see, let me tell you something. The shillbillies don't like any of us preaching this message. But not only are we going to preach it, those like myself have our hands active in the process of making sure these gears turn in the right direction. Let me tell you something. We have to send this message and punish them, because if we do not, it will become even more accustomed to saying, see, look at these stupid Negroes. We've been neglecting them all these years, and now we bringing people in here that's not even citizens and prioritizing them over them using their tax dollars. They'll still vote for us. Do you understand the message that was sent if we don't punish these people? So just know, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. So I'm just letting y'all know. They think they're mad now, boy. Oh, man. If it goes the way most of us on the grassroots plan, we're going to give them something to be mad about. Okay? So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started analyzing old Kamammy here and a lot of this babble that she had going on, because, see, let me tell you something. It's getting so bad to the point that even the media friendly, media stations that are friendly to her, yeah, they haven't started to come on here and, just call a ball and a strike, because I'm going to tell you something right now. This is going to sound cruel, but I have to speak the truth. You cannot keep sprinkling sugar on shit. You just can't do it. You can try to keep her from talking. Okay, you can put Tim Waltz out there as her little handler. You're just not going to be able to cover the fact that this woman is a blithering idiot. She was hidden away during the first 3.5 years of the administration for a reason. She was. This woman is not intelligent. And that is, look, Joe Biden losing his mind, national security threat. This here, not a brain cell in her mind, even greater national security threat. You think about, never mind dealing with the issues that pertains to our lineage as foundational Black American freedmen. Just think what it's going to be like when this woman starts to deal with world leaders, the Vladimir Putins, the Xi Jinpings, the Kim Jong-uns, okay? When you have to deal with world leaders that are hostile towards this country, man, do you not know that they're sitting there? I ain't gonna lie. They hoping that she win, because they couldn't push Trump around like that. This isn't about like or don't like. This is just the facts, okay? Watch this. This is something the shillbillies will even have to admit to. But we know they don't like the truth, but they know what the truth is. When Trump was in office, we wasn't sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine, and there was no war in that situation. He had that situation locked down, okay? He had it locked down. So what you want to say? We wasn't in no wars and conflicts like that. Soon as Trump get out, little punk ass Joe Biden get in there, man, now we just sending boatloads of cash to Ukraine, and Putin is like, man, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And it's really their business. We really don't have a dog in that fight. But all I'm saying is I'm just giving you one fact that was under Trump, that, hey, we didn't have this nonsense going on. So yeah, I'm just letting y'all know we finna make it hurt tonight with the truth. So we're going to go ahead and get started analyzing this. And I'm going to be stopping it to get these bastards the blues as need be. Let's get started.
Up first, Kamala Harris on the campaign trail this Labor Day weekend after her first interview since becoming the Democratic nominee. And while she cleared the hurdle without any major fumbles, some critics say it wasn't enough.
I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
Kamala Harris billing herself as the candidate of change and answering questions for the first time in this campaign about some of her reversals on progressive policy, like a ban on fracking.
My values have not changed. What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
She gave a similar answer, defending her flip on illegal immigration from 2019.
You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed.
Donald Trump quickly weighed in, saying the interview confirmed Harris's far-left values and her status as a flip-flopper.
She probably goes back to her room and gets sick to her stomach when she says what she has to say, because she's a Marxist.
But Harris making clear she doesn't want to be drawn into a food fight with Trump over race or gender.
Now, I'm going to pause it right here because, see, let me say this openly. Donald Trump, and I'm talking to you and your campaign, the white supremacists in your base don't need to be pandered to in such an extreme way where you start talking about Marxists and all this other stupid stuff. Let me just put it out here bluntly. When you got shot in your ear and you got back up and survived that, that secured the white supremacist voter base of the Republican Party. They're going to vote for you no matter what. You don't need to keep feeding her no more red meat. You need to be coasting now and trying to get the voters by leaning more into the middle and trying to play the great uniter. That's what a smart presidential candidate would do. I mean, it's overkill that, but look, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But see, him in that mouth, okay? But I got to show y'all something before we continue with that, because see, let me show you something that a lot of people probably think that over here in New Black Media Spaces, we just exaggerate when we tell y'all how deceptive the mainstream media is. We're going to pause this real quick, and I got to play something for y'all. I'm not going to say a mumbling word. I'm going to play this. Then we're going to come back to analyzing Kamammy here. I want y'all to take a look at this, because see, when we tell y'all that you cannot trust the mainstream media, this is going to be a perfect example of why we say that.
On truancy, which is what a lot of people have been hitting my Twitter feed about, how, you know, that program, from their criticism is it separated black children from their families. She talks about the fact that, you know, yeah, there were a lot of tough decisions that were made, but I stand by them. She's going to have to talk about that more fully. Kamala Harris never sent parents to jail for their kids' truancy.
Quote unquote border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People gonna have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. You know, she was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
Now you saw that, family. You saw that. You saw they caught and they showed what was said before Biden dropped out and after he dropped out. See, I keep telling y'all this is a beautiful time to be alive, because see, I guess they're still stuck, the mainstream media. And look, I get it, mainstream media. I know why you continue to tell these lies in the modern era. Let me break it down for you before we continue with the main subject matter here. The reason why they continue to try to do this in the digital era, where they know they can be fact checked in a heartbeat, they count on most of America, no matter what race you are. They count on most of America having a microwave mentality. Now, what do I mean by that? They count on you as like, okay, we can come out and tell this lie, but as long as there's sports, there's movies, there's music, entertainment, you're not going to remember the lies that we tell like that. Well, bad news for you mainstream media, low-life lying bastards, because all it takes is for those of us in New Black Media Spaces and the Black grassroots to catch you in these lies and present it to our audience. And from there, the work is done. The people are going to know the truth, okay? People will gravitate to the truth. People are tired of the lies. So I get that you banking on, you know, enough modern day conveniences to be a distraction for people, but that's not going to work anymore. And you're going to learn this the hard way with the conclusion of this election, because if Trump can keep from putting his little white supremacist orange feet in his mouth, she's going to lose. And I said it before, I believe they really put that idiot out there, Kamammy, to run and get crushed so that they can get rid of her, because they didn't want her there anyway. Look, let me tell you something. And I know that this is probably going to come out later on. When Joe Biden did that weak ass move, and instead of competing against her and just beating her, and that goes to show you how incapable he was with his senile ass now. And I have no remorse for his ass. Fuck him. His family have remorse for him. But think about it this way. Instead of him trying to compete and just go ahead and knock her out the way, he said, well, okay, if you can't beat him, join her. Let me give her the VP spot just to keep her quiet. Don't you know that Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them Democrats, especially them white women, they're like, you did what? You gonna put this heifer here, this little half-breed cackling heifer, in that spot before you put a white woman in it? Oh, you better believe they were pissed about that, but they was like, okay, she's here. We got her in here now. There's nothing we can do about it. So We got to figure out how to get rid of her ass. And if you think I'm reaching with this, why do you think they were hiding her most of the time during them 3.5 years there, huh? Why do you think they was doing that? Then they put her stupid ass out here, and it appears like they're trying to help her because they put her with Tim Walz, who has, you know, the more intelligence out of the two of them. I got to say it. But let me tell you why it's also a backhanded way to get her out the paint. In this economy right now, which is the main issue for most Americans, and these illegal aliens flooding the border, and he's up here pro-immigration, just want to, let everybody in. Don't you see the sabotage in that family? But see, you know, I don't know nothing. November's going to tell. And before that, this debate that she has with Trump, I'm going to say this. Just know that the black grassroots has a lot more influence than most people think. That's all I'm going to say. I'm laughing because I know about something that's going to happen. Just make sure you watch that debate. I'll speak on it after the debate, but just know that, yeah, some issues are going to be raised. I'll leave it there, okay? So we're going to continue with our analysis here, family, because, see, we're not done with this Helping by Sight. I want y'all to pay attention to what they're about to get into, and we're going to continue from there.
Suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes.
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
Here with me.
Oh, she couldn't help but do the cackle. With them jacked up teeth, man. Boy, I tell you what, she just can't stop the cackling, man. Look, you know what? I bet they've talked to her about that, but I don't think she can stop. I really don't think she can stop. She's a cackler. That's just what she does. Maybe she's going to cackle her way to getting some of y'all votes. I don't know. Maybe after this broadcast, y'all might be like, GPS, man, you doing way too much. We're going to ski weed to the polls and make sure we give Kamammy the vote because you're just tripping. You know, maybe that's how it'll be at the end of the broadcast. We're going to see. Let's get back to it.
Today, podcaster, journalist, and author Kara Swisher. Conservative pollster and New York Times opinion writer Kristen Soltis Anderson. New York Times journalist and host of the Interview podcast, Lulo Garcia Navarro. And National Review editor-in-chief Rich Lowry. Welcome, everyone, especially Rich, who's a first-timer.
Thank you. I'll try not to disappoint.
Okay, we'll have a good time. Kara, did Harris do what she needed to do in the interview?
Well, she's got to do a lot of interviews, I think. I think it was fine. There were no fumbles, and she answered relatively well. She seemed, you know, calm. She was quite calm. She foisted off a bunch of questions that were about the past, and I thought she did that pretty well. I don't think it did any damage, no harm, no foul kind of interview.
Did it do her any good?
Now, family, let me tell you something. You have bullshitters, and then you have ultimate bullshitters, because any of us that saw that, okay, and we gonna go through it here tonight. Keep in mind, put a pin in that statement she just made. She look, I get it. Maybe they're close buddies, and maybe she's just being paid to do the job the best she can. But look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if it was me and I was a shillbilly and I was being paid to, you know, to go out there and make Kamammy look good, I would have to give the money back, and I'll be like, listen, I can't perform miracles. There's no way that I can fix this, okay? What they're trying to do by lying about this woman's idiocy in front of the camera, that's basically like somebody working at a fast food place, and they're making a milkshake, and all of a sudden a turd falls into like the milkshake machine, and it blends up the turd into the damn milkshake, and then they expect somebody to like separate all the particles out of the turd from that. You can't. You have to throw the whole thing away at that point. There's no fixing that. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Let's let it continue.
It didn't need to necessarily. She needs to do a lot of them. I think she should do local ones. I think she should do them all over the place. But yeah, because it didn't do her bad. That's why, because it was fine.
Kristen, do you agree with Kara that she did fine?
Fine is probably the right word. It's clear that she is really committing to this pivot to the center. The whole time I kept thinking about that kerfluffle in 2012 when Mitt Romney was going from the primary to the general, and his campaign said, oh, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. We're just going to flip it over, shake it, and it'll erase everything. It's like she's trying to erase the last time she ran in a primary and say, no, no, I'm different. And it may work.
Woman, you know better than that. And boy, this heifer over here in this jacket with her strong face ass, she got to be, you know, playing for the Butch community. She got to be, okay? She that jawline there, boy. She got a stronger jawline than some of the guys in the chat room here. But I digress. Listen, that white woman know better than that because she know her own women. Sitting up there trying to play these games as if most of these white liberal women up there are not going to turn on her. They turned on Hillary, a whole white woman that they couldn't stand. You think that all of them, let's just talk real. You really think that all of those white women are not going to turn on her for the simple fact, like I said, that, hey, she got to the vice president spot before any one of them. That's all you need. That's all you need. White women are going to show them better than I can tell you. A lot of them in the Democrat Party are going to quietly go vote for the orange man. I'm telling you, these jokers up here, they're in the minority. All that caping for that woman. You know what I'm saying? And then look, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. Perhaps they're being paid quite handsomely, you know, like this strong Helfer's face over here on the right hand, quite handsomely because, you know, but perhaps they're being paid handsomely to go out here and tell these lies. And then at the end, as soon as they take no lavalier mites off that, bitch, I'm gonna make sure I vote for the Trump pay to get in there over here. I'm just saying, man, white women are vindictive. They are some of the most destructive, vengeful creatures on the planet, okay? You really think that they just gonna let that slide? How many of y'all, just think about it. Does that sound realistic that they would rather see someone like her, not Caucasian in any way, shape, or form by bloodline, beat them to the vice president spot when they've been fighting all this time in this country to get an equal share of white supremacy with their men, huh? Just stop and think about that for a minute. Let's let it continue.
Two things, though, that she said in this interview that I can easily imagine Mar-a-Lago High Command finding useful. One was she said, you know, we needed to recover as an economy, and we've done that. A lot of Americans don't think we've recovered as an economy. She used that as a justification for why her positions had changed. The second thing she said repeatedly was, my values have not changed. And given that she has had some positions in the past that were pretty progressive, I imagine that could be viewed as a gift for Republicans.
Well, I want to pick up on that because shortly after CNN released the first clip from the interview, the Trump campaign put together this ad of some of Harris's greatest hits from her 2019 campaign.
Oh, get ready, family. Get ready, boy. This right here. And look, in case you think that I was just being hyperbolic, oh, you just don't like Kamammy. And by the way, that whole she's a black woman thing, this woman, well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. I want y'all to prepare to look at what the Trump campaign put together. Because see, one thing about it, let me tell you something. I'm not supporting the orange man. I'm damn sure not supporting the Democrats unless some policies come our way. But one thing about him, he's naturally petty, okay? He don't really have to take much for him to put together something to really light you up if you running around out here making all these goofy comments and stuff, and then you sit up here flip-flopping back and forth as if the internet isn't forever. Family, hold on to your horses. You're going to laugh your ass off at this. Fair use, fair use.
My values have not changed.
Reduce red meat specifically.
Yes.
The Boston Marathon bomber. They should be able to vote.
I think we should have that conversation.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes, I'm in favor of banning fracking. I am prepared to pass a Green New Deal.
Rich, does my values have not changed address her problem with flip-flops when she was running as a lefty in 2019, worried about Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren?
No, I mean, it could be part of a cogent explanation of these things, but in the interview, she said that line, which clearly had been fed to her, but didn't really connect to anything. She didn't explain any of these changes of point of view. And I'm not against people changing their minds. It's, you know, George McGovern changed his mind on regulations, but it's because he started a small business and he realized how burdensome it is. So there was something going on there besides just changing on 8 or 10 things instantly in the course of a couple weeks, mostly still just explained via staff rather than with the candidate's own words. So this was a replacement level interview. It was not terrible, but it was not impressive. And if I were the campaign, my takeaway would be, yeah, do more interviews, but local, 5-minute pull-aside interviews. Do not put her in a setting where she might be significantly and in a sustained way challenged for 20 minutes, because I think she'd wilt under that pressure.
Now, let me add this to what he just said, because he has a valid point. Let me ask my chat room participation time. I need to get your opinions on this in real time, family. I have a question for you. What we're about to analyze here, because we're going to get there. How many of you have confidence in this woman being the leader of this country, okay? The commander-in-chief when she can't even do a simple interview on American soil without having her vice president stapled to her damn side. It would have been different if it was a scenario where Trump was going to be there and he had J.D. Vance there, his vice presidential pick. Okay, hey, you bring your VP in that situation. But what happens on the world stage when there comes a time where, let me just give you a realistic scenario. There might be times where you're in that office where the vice president might have to go handle one thing and you might have to go handle something abroad. So what happens when you don't have Tim Walz at your side? How many of you have confidence that she can do that job? I just want to put that question out there. Let me know in the chat. I'll be looking, see what you think. Let's let it continue.
Lulu, well, first of all, what do you think of what Rich just said?
Yeah.
You agree?
I think she did okay. She seemed nervous, especially at the beginning. There had been so much pressure put on this interview. She waited way too long to do one, so it was like the Super Bowl. It didn't need to be. And so she did no harm. I agree with Kara, but I also agree with Rich that I don't think she did anyone any favors, and there's still a lot of questions that she needs to answer.
Well, but let me ask you about one of those questions. If you switch from ban on fracking to no ban, if you switch from decriminalize immigration to laws have consequences and need to be enforced, how does that fit under my values haven't changed?
I think exactly. I think the thing with my values hasn't changed is that she's trying to capitalize on the thing that actually voters say they like about her, which they see her as someone with leadership, they see her as someone who has integrity, things that Donald Trump scores very poorly on. So she's trying to capitalize on that, like.
No, she's just lying because that's something she's done her whole life, flat backing her way to where she is now. No, she's just lying. And see, let me tell you, Democrats shield something. To go to show you how out of touch, and I'm talking about, I don't care what race you are, okay? Because I know I have more than one type of race listening to this broadcast. One of the things that you got to understand is the average American, no matter what race they are, if they're focused on a specific issue, you can't keep deflecting to Trump this, Trump that. No, her stupidity doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. If Trump is so poor and incompetent and all these other things they keep saying about him, okay, then that should be an easy win for you. Let me tell you something. If I was a political candidate and my opponent is stupid, I wouldn't say too much about them. They would shoot themselves in the foot. I would just wait until they make political gaffes. And I'm like, yep, it's going to be a perfect campaign ad. But most of my time would be spent talking about my agenda, my policies, and what I'm going to get done if you elect me. I wouldn't spend a whole bunch of time like they did at that pathetic, disgusting Democratic National Convention where they were sitting up there. Everything was about basically trying to roast Trump. And I mean, look, say what you want. Remember, I compared on this very channel the Republican National Convention, the most important parts of it. They were actually talking about policy there. They were. If you look, just to be honest, if you had to compare the Democratic National Convention of this year to the Republican National Convention of this year, even though they had them bootlegging Sambos on there, they were actually talking about policy. Democratic National Convention, oh man, it was just a plantation celebration. Lil Jon coming out all over the place. I'm surprised they didn't have Meg Thee Stallion back out there. I mean, I'm just saying, man. So I'm just saying, when you look at it for what it is, no, it has nothing to do with her talking about her values hadn't changed. No, she's lying. She flip-flop all over the place. I just showed y'all evidence of that early in the broadcast. So I get it. They probably paying her quite handsomely, like her little strong face, because boy, she got a strong one too. To say that, but no, lady, that's not what it is. Let's let it continue.
Trust me, believe me, I am a good person. I am a change candidate, right? But she doesn't really explain what it is that she believes in. And so I'm not so concerned about fracking. I know that that's a big deal for Pennsylvania. I think where it's going to become an issue is on the border, because decriminalizing, people crossing the border illegally, there are a lot of reasons to say that that's fine because of, things that are, too lengthy to explain now, but it doesn't.
Oh, no, ma'am. It's not too lengthy to explain because, see, where you get up here on mainstream media and tap dance around the issues, lady, you and your little strong face, let me tell all of you Democrat shillbillies something. We know about the CBP1 app. You remember I was one of the first people to bring that to you all, okay? I wasn't the only one. I was one of the first where they was flying them in over here, and it's still going on, by the way. Because when they try to tell that lie, look, see, there are not that many coming to the border anymore. Yeah, we know because you was saying, hey, look, download this app and we'll give you a first class ticket over here and fly you over here. See, let's just look at the insult to American citizens. You flying these illegal aliens over here using the CBP1 app, okay? Then when they get here, you send them to places like New York and put them in the most expensive hotels that a lot of the average citizens can't even afford to spend the night in. Then on top of that, they tell you that they don't like the food because it's not germane to their cultural diet. And then they, man, look, just I could go on and on. You're giving them assistance with rent. Then you giving them, free cars to go and get all kinds of food and everything. And then they turn around and forming gangs and selling drugs. And see, speaking of gangs, let me go ahead and make a statement here on the night's broadcast about that Aurora, Colorado situation. Excuse me, the Aurora, Colorado situation. Family, if you come across anybody that's in Colorado that's claiming to be a black gang member, I'm going here, they need to shut the entire fuck up if you're going to claim to be a gang member and you're going to let the Venezuelan gangs go in there and take over an entire housing complex. I mean, what's all that, the good of you bragging about, okay, this is my turf, this, that, and the third, and then they can just come over and take over. Let me direct it to the white supremacists, but I have yet to confirm something. Same thing for you white supremacists. If it's any hardcore white supremacists over there and you letting them get away with that, don't talk about taking the country back, because now it's time to put up a shut up. You would think that they would converge on Colorado from all points in between. But see, I heard a rumor that I can't confirm. I'm going to be looking more into it. I heard there just might be one white supremacist gang stepping up to the challenge. And let me tell you something. It's going to be very interesting if this is true. I heard the Hells Angels are on their way converging on Colorado to go deal with that problem. Let me tell you something. That's going to be an interesting set of events, because I'm no fan of that white supremacist biker gang. One thing I know about them, though, the motherfuckers will fight. If you got problems with one of them, you got problems with all of them. I'll give them this. They are on code. Look, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Out of all the white supremacist groups, the Hells Angels and Adam Waffen are the top two that, you're going to have to get busy with them if it come down to it, okay? I'll give them that. And them white boys are no punks. They will fight you, okay? Now, let me say this. If that is true and the Hells Angels actually come down there to deal with that, and then they jump up and deploy the National Guard and the police to stop them, that's going to look very bad to the American public. Hear what I tell you, because if you're going to deploy them to stop the Hells Angels from coming there, why are you not deploying the National Guard and the police to stop them from doing what they're doing over there, taking over whole apartment complexes? This is America. Hell no. So I'm going to tell you like this. I never thought I'd be saying this, but if the Hells Angels actually are going over there to deal with that and they get that job done, they're going to become America's national heroes, definitely in white America. Mark my words. So I'm going to be looking more into that film to find out if that rumor is true, because if it is, let me tell you something, man. Shit. Them Venezuelan gangs, I'm going to say this from what I know. You might be the shit back where you from, but one thing I'm going to tell you now, if a bunch of Hells Angels are converging on Colorado from all chapters, because how they roll is, if it's some business to be handled, they put a call out to every chapter in the country. And they are coming, okay? Yeah, they they're going to tear their ass out the frame. They think, look, all right, if that's true and that happens, mark my words, that's going to make the news. But we'll keep our eye on that. We're going to get back to analyzing this situation right here, though. Let's let it continue.
Really play well to the general public in an election where the immigration really matters to people.
I don't think people mind people changing their mind. Two things. Of the people on this panel, you've interviewed her, correct? Have you interviewed her?
I have never met
I've interviewed her
Kamala
4
Harris.
or 5 times. She's not going to wilt.
I'm not getting an interview, in case you're wondering.
No, I know, but she's not a wilter. She's actually quite good in interviews, and she had some bad ones, but she's like everybody else, she falls down. The second thing is, oddly enough, my family does fracking in Pennsylvania, and I asked them last night, or had been in the business, because it's a coal business, And they are Trump voters, but they were satisfied with that answer. They're like, okay, as long as she doesn't do it, that's great.
I just wonder about this all-purpose answer. My values haven't changed when, on a lot of issues, her values or her policies have changed dramatically because she was running then on the left, and now she's running the center. I want to bring up another issue. Harris.
Now, let me chime in on what he just said there, because he brought up the magic word that we've been watching here for on her website, which is policies. This heifer doesn't even respect the American public enough to copy and paste Joe Biden's policies on her website. There's only donate and a bunch of fluff about her and day one, which, by the way, day one was in 2020, 2021 when you got in there. Okay, your day one was 3.5 years ago, Kamammy. Okay, so we don't want to hear anything about no day ones. But she doesn't even respect you enough, America, to copy and paste policies on the website. Like, you go to Trump's website, he got his policies on there. He's got something that you can say, hey, man, you said you was going to do X, Y, Z and this on the website. At least he's got a frame of reference so you can kind of hold him accountable to what he was saying, at least in that aspect. Can't do it with Kamammy. And they think they're slick with that. But see, all of this is going to converge on her when that debate happens in just a few days here. Oh, that's going to be a massacre. It is. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have fun watching that. But see, no policies, no political experience, okay, as far as like being able to handle things, because we couldn't even find her during when Joe Biden was in there, okay? They had her head and tucked off to the side because they knew that this woman was an idiot, okay? They knew it. They knew it. So now they wheeled her out here and they're like, well, put Tim Walz with her. I'm telling you again, I'm going to say it one more time. I think Tim Walz is simply there to help her crash and burn because his views, if you don't know anything about him, he is super pro-immigration, and that is something that most of America is not feeling right now. And look, I'm one of the few people that'll say it this way. Not only am I not for the illegal immigration, I'm not for the legal immigration either. I don't want none of it. We need to go a good 20, 30 years without any more immigration. We got to know people in this country. We need to start getting some of the ones that don't belong here the fuck out of here first. And if it come down to 2 presidential candidates, the person that I trust most to do that job would be Donald Trump. Let it continue.
Also defended the administration's record and talked about how proud she is to have served as vice president. Here's what Biden said about her at the Democratic convention.
We've had one of the most extraordinary 4 years of progress ever. When I say we, I mean Kamala and me.
Now, Harris and Biden will be together in Pittsburgh on Monday, Labor Day. Kristen, is it a mistake for Harris to campaign with Joe Biden?
I think it is. I think that in the interview, when she was asked about having worked for him, she was pretty gracious, and I think that's fine. I think having respect for the man who chose you to be his running mate is fine. But at a certain point, his job approval is very low. Voters do not like what they have seen over the last 3.5 years. She's aware of that. Dana Bash pushed her in the interview on it, and she kind of tried to say, well, don't really blame me for the last 3.5 years. If you're out there campaigning with...
Let me stop this heifer right here. No, baby. No, no, no. Not her or Kamammy. Yes, it's the Biden-Harris administration. You in there, baby. You don't get to do that. Oh, look, ladies and gentlemen, are we not in the age of equality? Oh, I'm going there. Yes, you do get blamed for the last 3.5 years. You are the vice president. See, that's another thing I'm tired of them trying to use. They keep talking about the vice president position as if she's just a White House campaign staffer or a damn janitor. You just come in there and dust stuff off from time to time. No, you're the vice president of the United States. And I posit to you this. America, I don't care what race you are listening to this. If this woman is that powerless as the vice president, why in the hell do you want to step up to the presidential position? Wouldn't you think that if you couldn't, let's go here. If you couldn't ride the bike right with training wheels on, what makes America think that you're going to ride it right when we take the training wheels off? You're going to fall on your ass. And in that position, when you fall on your ass, that affects the rest of the country when you're the commander in chief. I just got to call it like it is. Let's let it continue.
Joe Biden, that really is continuing to tie yourself to an administration that voters are simply saying, please, please, please not.
I disagree. I think Joe Biden still has a lot of pull in certain places. places where she might need his help. I mean, he is still popular among certain cadres of white working class voters. That is his background. And so I actually don't think that it is a bad thing to be seen with the sitting president of the United States. At the end of the day, she cannot hide from it, so she might as well embrace it.
Yeah, they're doing it in Pittsburgh, and he had some residual strength even towards the end in the blue wall states. But I just still think this is a bad idea. We'll know a lot about who's going to win this election based on who wins the argument over who represents change. And if she's change, if she's something different than Trump and Biden, and she's turning the page, that's huge for her. And Trump has to push back against that.
From what? I mean, the thing about this is not just who's the change candidate, but what are you changing from? Do you want to change from division? Do you want to change from chaos? That is the argument that Kamala Harris is making. Yeah. And so therefore she is the change candidate.
Let me tell you something. While they're using the word change, you better change this damn economy, and you better change that damn border situation. And you better start changing the number of people that are here illegally and get them out. And see, let me tell you what I want to see. Boy, they better be glad I'm not in charge of the deportation situation and securing that border, because I already told y'all what I would do. 10-mile wide long military base, permanently staffed with National Guard and Reserve, okay, to help back up the Border Patrol. And I would have layers of security. So the only way that you would get through that is if somebody from the National Guard or Reserve helped you cross through that 10 miles of military base. It will be 10 miles wide before you even get foot into America, okay? You'll have to go through the military base. That's my plan to secure the border. Damn a wall by itself. Militarize that motherfucker. It should look just like the demilitarized zone over there in North Korea, only beefier, okay? Then on top of that, not only do I want the recent illegal aliens out of here, you and your kids, you go too. I would scrap that whole crap where, and that's one thing I'm with Trump on. I heard him mention that. Adjusting that 14th Amendment where you have to having an American parent to be an American citizen. You can't just come over here and plop out an anchor baby and that baby got citizenship. Take you and your kid and get right back across the border. And then on top of that, all of these undocumented illegal aliens that's been over here for years, you going to. I would round them up. I told y'all, man, I would have vans with ice on it. I would be playing 2 songs, okay? I would be playing Vanilla Ice. Y'all know the classic, Ice, Ice, Baby. Oh, yes. And then I would have to go ahead and switch it up and throw that Master P, the Ice Cream Man on. I would have vans around rolling. When they hear them 2 songs, they would scatter like roses, because like we finna hunt your ass down and boot you the fuck up out this country. You don't get to come over here and be rewarded in a country for breaking the law. That's how I would do it, y'all. So like I said, I'm petty as hell, but look, I would be on it. I would be on it. Let's let it continue.
But if you want to change from Biden and high prices, then he's embracing that. So it's a question of who wins that argument.
Want to change from an administration that a lot of people think has failed and has an approval rating that's 40%. Then Trump wins. So that's the argument.
Salute to my good brother, Black Voltron Reloaded, for the Cash App. And brother, I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna text you right after this broadcast. I definitely gotta collaborate with you on some strategy and ideas that I have, because one thing about it, my brother, man, we with y'all over there. We see what y'all went through. Keep your spirits held high. And I know you one of the main people out there on the Black grassroots that is not gonna bow down. So I'm definitely gonna be contacting you after the broadcast. So let it continue.
All right. That is the argument, and we have a debate in a few days, I think 10 days. We'll see who wins it.
All right, so now they gave you the analysis of what we're about to review next, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, we're going to get straight down to the ski-wee skank of the hour. Okay, the cackling mammy of power here, or according to them, she don't have no power. But we're about to examine all 3 parts of that interview. Oh, yes, we are, because, see, before we get into that, let me talk to my people for a minute, people of my lineage, okay? The Shillbillies hate when I show you this picture, but I have to tell the truth. I'm reminding you of what Jim Crow Joe Biden did when he wasn't even 3 months in office when he did this, by the way, okay? He got immediately to work signing executive orders until his pen caught on fire for everybody except for us. Most of the chaos that you see going on now, it was because of what you see on his desk right here in this picture. I don't ever want you to forget this, okay? I'm going to keep showing it, okay? I'm going to keep showing it because we need to remind you now with the treachery that they put on our brothers and sisters over there on the West Coast in California. Hey, he was signing all of this stuff. And then when it comes times for them to pass the reparations bill over there, the right thing to do, you deny that and you send your little bootlicking flunkies out there, your shillbillies, to do that. Well, we're going to show you what happened to the shillbillies. Because, see, once they get out the paint, and especially if they employ the strategy that I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, which we are actively working on, this is what I'm going to be encouraging young Black America to do, that goes to get those seats, because they can get them. They can get them, and they are ready. They are ready, because that's one thing we got to stop saying for those people that do say that, I don't, that the younger people are not ready. Let me say this about that. Let's just say they're not ready. Well, damn it, that's the job of the older people to help them get ready. We should be there to assist them, because the future belongs to them, okay? That's the future of our people, the young people, okay? So when they get empowered, let me tell you something I'm going to be encouraging them to do. It's time for them to make sure that after somebody has wronged you and you get a chance to amend that or give some type of redress to that, you have to say, one thing that I respect about the small hat community, you have to take a page out their book and say, never again. We are never going to be in a situation where anybody can mistreat us like this again. And that's going to require a major adjustment on the part of Black America, because as Dr. John Henry Clark said, this is one of our greatest strengths and also one of our greatest weaknesses. We're going to have to adjust that compassion that we have for everybody else and take that in from them and turn it towards us. We deserve our own compassion. You understand? See, you think about it, Black America, all the love that we've shown these other groups, fighting for them to get over here, helping them have an economy, whether it's the Asian community, East Indian, Arab community. We do business with all them people, give them an economic floor, and they don't even employ anybody in our community. And I can't blame them. Hey, if a people is going to spend their money with you and you don't have to respect them, hey, look, just speaking objectively, if I was them, I can understand why they do it. Doesn't mean it's right, but hey, if you're going to keep doing it. So we shown all this compassion to these other people. My question is, isn't it high time we turn that compassion towards ourselves, okay? So that's what I'm going to be encouraging the young people to do. Be ruthless. It's okay to be ruthless and put your people first, because everybody else puts their people ahead of us. So now, family, we're going to get into examining the Cackling would-be commander-in-chief here. You tell me if Kamammy is going to earn your vote after what we analyze here tonight.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
And I got to go ahead and say this. Man, y'all see this seconds into the beginning of the interview, okay? She had that big goofy smile on her face. She couldn't contain it. Look, man, I'm going to do you a solid, Democrats. I'm going to do you a solid. I shouldn't do this. Some of my people going to hate me for this, but maybe if you want to help Kamammy out, because this is the only helpful advice I'm going to give you. Maybe you need to put a muzzle on the heifer, okay? Put a muzzle on her, okay? And then just get a translator, you know what I'm saying? So that way they can cover up that damn goofy ass cackling grin. Or wire her jaw shut or something, because she just cannot stop the damn cackling. Jesus, let's let it continue.
Bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well,
she's already had day one, Dana Bash. You shouldn't have did that. She's already had her day one. But family, hold on to your horses. Here comes the Great American Bullshitter. That's the title I give her, the Great American Bullshitter. Here it comes.
there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look
the middle class that you and Jim Crow Joe's policies, yes, Biden-Harris administration, have sought to devastate and wipe out. You know, the middle class that is trying to actually start businesses. And it's proven that amongst Black America, we were the group, the demographic that started the most businesses during the pandemic. Oh, that middle class, that's what you're talking about, Kamammy? Oh, maybe we got it wrong, family. Let it continue.
Look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people. I think that people are ready for a new way forward in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, We have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans.
Here's the problem with this goofy strategy, because see, I have to pick this apart for the foolishness and the unintelligent nonsense that we're looking at, that it is. You've been in office for the last 3.5 years. Not a damn thing can be blamed on Trump under y'all. You've done this. You opened the border up and flooded us with these illegal aliens. You tanked this economy to where it wasn't like this under Trump. Everybody can see that. Everybody that has any ounce of common sense can see that, especially those of us that are business owners. Okay? None of this stuff was like that before you. We damn sure know these grocery prices wasn't like this before y'all got in office. So this trying to badmouth Trump, it makes you look like an idiot. You and Jim Crow Joe are responsible for this. So any intelligent American of whatever race you are listening to this broadcast, how are you going to expect the person or people, in this case, because it's the Biden-Harris administration, to fix what they broke on purpose? Huh? This was not some accident. Look, let me tell you something. The two of these bastards and bastardesses together, okay, because it's a bastard and a bastard, Kamammy, the two of them together have done more to this country than Jimmy Carter's terrible presidency. You know, he only had one term in there to fuck things up. The two of them together, shit, boy. They're like, Jimmy Carter, hold my beer. Let me show you what we can do. We get in here. Now, I want somebody to tell me that I'm wrong. Let's let this heifer continue.
Really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard.
Why you hadn't did that already with your little shoe-face ass, huh? Why you hadn't done it already? What's this? Look, see, let me tell you where I could almost respect it at. If she wasn't hiding up under the basement somewhere or trying to, make tub wash greens, okay? If she wasn't doing that and she was out visible saying, hey, doing press conferences saying, hey, this is the plan that we're working on here, okay? This is what we're going to have going on. This is what it entails. Going out, you know what I'm saying? Actually going out to these cities, not just when it's election or campaign time, and actually trying to work with people in the community, trying to find out what people's needs are, she will have a leg to stand on here. But you can't just pull this out your ass all of a sudden and see. Watch this. I always teach you on this platform here to study people's body language. She's looking down when she's saying that because her sorry ass know that she's lying. Let's let it continue.
Which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for.
You're talking about what you're gonna do, but your ass is in office now. You should have been doing that. And that lets you know right there that if she had any intention of doing it, she would have done it already. Look, let me give you a statement that's true. Mark this down and use this on all the shillbillies because there's no way around it. The fear mongering that they're doing with Trump, this is all you have to tell them. If Trump was gonna destroy the country and just ruin everything, he would have did it during his first term in office. All these horrible things. Why was he waiting to do it until he got out of office, okay? And then if this heifer here was actually going to help the country, her and Jim Crow Joe Biden, they would have did it during their term when they was in office, okay? It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Let's let it continue.
Families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now.
Oh, no, baby. No. Because we see what you're doing now. You investing in these illegal aliens getting homes. See, you think about that. Sometimes, family, when you hear about these things, you actually have to just sit with that and envision it, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Imagine, I don't care what race you are either, because I'm talking to everybody tonight. Imagine you being in this country, you hadn't been able to buy your first home yet, and then they've got programs to give illegal aliens zero down, zero interest loans to get these damn homes before you, And then they can come over there and then stroll past you that they've got rental assistance. They've got all types of debit cards to help them get stuff. And then they can be in the same grocery store as you. Just got over here 2-3 days off the border, can't speak a lick of English, and then come to meetings like that bastard in Chicago. No money for you. And look at you. I did it. Why can't you do it? Off of our tax dollars that they didn't put in at all. You have to be a stone cold raving fool to go put this heifer in office. Let's let it continue.
So there are a number of things on day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda, too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be. And I think many of these things that the vice president's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We did it in Minnesota. To have a federal partner in this, unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability.
Of course she's aware. They engineered the suffering.
One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world.
Family, everything she just said, I'm going to give you a homework assignment, is a bold-faced fucking lie. Those interest rates are not below 3%. No, they're not. Just lying on TV. Because, see, they count on people not fact-checking none of this, okay? They count on that. They've given this idiot a script to read what little of it she can memorize, okay? But, see, these are lies. You know how you know that? You don't even have to be a statistician. You don't even have to be even anybody that's totally politically astute. All you have to do is just look around you. See, you can tell if any of that she said was true when it comes to finances because people wouldn't be complaining about how high things are. People damn car insurance as much as they damn car note now, damn near, okay? Huh? We see what it is in the grocery store. We see what it's like, okay, with like people that's in situations where they're renting. We see how that just keeps skyrocketing because see, basically, let me just go ahead and be blunt with this. What you're looking at with this inflation and this illegal immigration, I'm going to show you, I'm going to thread a needle for you to show you exactly why you'd be a fool, especially as a black person or any American, to vote for them. Let's just go ahead and break it down to brass tacks so even a 5-year-old can understand it. What you're looking at, the Democrats have a bunch of corporate buddies, okay? Go ahead and look on opensecrets.gov and just start looking at, or fact of business, hold on, let me show you what I'm talking about because I want my people to actually back up what I'm saying. Don't take it from me. Oh, no, don't even take it from me at all. Let me put this in here. I'll put this website in here 3 times. And this is what I want you to do. Whoever your favorite politician is, I want you to go to fec.gov and start looking at the donors of these people. Okay? Start looking at all these corporations and all these folks that donated to them. Let me break down what's going on, what you're looking at with this economy and this situation. The Democrats are basically helping their corporate buddies by allowing these things to be that high. They're allowing it, okay? They're allowing it. And see, with the illegal immigration thing, hey, don't you know that corporations, one of their biggest expenses or the biggest expense for any business is the payroll, okay? So, hey, if they can hire some illegal aliens to come in here and, and not pay them, and that means they can start laying people off, okay? So I'm showing you how all of this is connected and it's engineered by the Democrats. This is them looking out for their corporate buddies all across the board. Now, and letting all these prices and stuff just skyrocket. Because see, think about it. To go to show you what a bigger liar she is, If all of this was Trump's fault, we would have seen this during his administration. We would have seen it, okay? But well, when we came in, it was just in shambles. No, it wasn't. You fucked it up trying to look out for your corporate buddies. That's how all of this ties together. Let's let it continue.
But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it, which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging. What we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years. What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes...
Let me show you why that last statement, and all the statements are full of shit, but that last one, let me thread another needle for you. Don't you know that they're in bed with BlackRock? Now, in case you're living under a rock, okay, pun intended, BlackRock owns the monopoly in the housing market now. What they're doing, they're going around buying up all the single family homes so that people can't actually purchase them, and they're just renting them out and charging sky high rent. BlackRock are their buddies, okay? I exposed that on my community tab a couple of months ago, okay? Just do your homework on that. See, the old adage that will forever be true, you want to get to the bottom of something, follow the money. You understand me? Always follow the money. I want young black people to understand that. Everybody talk about getting to the bag. That's great. I want you to get to the bag. But if you want to get answers as to why things are jacked up like this, start following the money and see where that leads you. Let's let it continue.
Includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So you have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Uh-oh. Dana Bash is like, okay, enough of this bullshit. Let me just go ahead and hit you with the real. Family, I want you to study this, okay? Because, see, let me tell you something. You want to become a smarter, wiser person? Actually, politics helps you do that. And I'm talking about both parties, actually, when it comes to this, but we're dealing with the Democrat Party here tonight because this is the helper that's sitting up here telling us all these lies and asking for our vote. If you study how deeply into being a pathological liar these people are, you'll be able to read any liar that's in front of you, okay, in your everyday lives that are not politicians. I want you to listen to what this woman is about to say to the question that Dana Bash just asked her.
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%. The work that we have done to cap the cost of...
Go look anywhere in the country at the interest rates, and I guarantee you there's nowhere in the country that interest rates are below 3%. Let's let it continue.
Of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened. We did it. So now, as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited, I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother.
Oh, no, bitch, you shouldn't have threw my state in there. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this as tactfully as I can. What she just did right there, that was a dirty, dirty Democrat trick, because when you start asking them about stuff, first they start dancing all around the question. I told you the Harris Waltz dance. That's what she's doing. That's what we're going to call this dance, deflecting, not answering any questions. But see, she started talking about what seniors benefit from. No disrespect, but the seniors are not the greater majority in this country. They're not, okay? Yes, they have certain needs they need to be taken care of. But that trying to speak to them, to fearmonger with them and start gaslighting them, because look, we get it. That old boomer crowd, they stuck. The greater majority of them, they going to keep voting blue no matter who. All they want is to make sure they can get their prescription drugs, okay? Make sure they got, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of Social Security money, and that's it. They don't give a damn about the future. And that's sad to say, because one of the things as an elder, if you make it to that, and you don't just make it there, you earn the title of elder. You think about the legacy of the future, the younger ones coming behind you. Elders, what elders do to earn that title, you say, okay, look, I've had my time. I've accomplished what I'm going to accomplish in life, okay? And although you still live your life, you start looking at the youth and say, hey, what can I do to smooth the road ahead with either resources or knowledge, a combination of both, connections? Hey, what can I do to make their path easier? What can I do as far as being accessible to them if they ask me questions about how to navigate this economy and certain other things? Or, you know, are you the type of person that has done this to become an elder? If you know you well established, how many young people do you go and just pull and say, hey, young man, young woman, you want an opportunity? I see you have a talent here or there. Hey, I could put you to work for me and my business. Or if you got other interests, let me find out what you got going on. Let me see if I can connect you with somebody that'll help you along the way. Most of the people that I'm talking about that vote blue no matter who, they don't do that. So they don't get to have the earned honorable title of elder. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. Let's let Kamammy continue.
Who showed me her receipts. And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin. She's not doing that anymore.
You maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down prescription medication for the American people, including capping
the greater majority of America is not on prescription medication unless you count white America abusing them damn drugs, and that's not our problem.
Cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000. When we do what we did in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by over 50%, when we do what we have done to invest in the American people and bringing manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over
Where have you brought manufacturing back to the United States? Somebody fill me in on that. Did I miss something? Because the last time I checked, and go do your homework on this, because it was Republicans and Democrats involved in this. The reason why China, okay, is number 2 economically on the world stage, some people argue they're going to be number 1 soon, is because that copied the China plan. When you set up there and thought you were going to exploit the Chinese by sending all the manufacturing jobs over there to have them people work for $2 a day, less than that, they said, okay, we got you, white man. We understand how to beat you at your own game. So when you come over here, we're going to have you, your company, whatever you make, we're going to have you partner with a Chinese CEO, and we're going to give the Chinese CEO instruction to copy all your blueprints. So if you're making an iPhone, we'll tell you, our people to make a Sly phone and sell that at half the price on the global market to undercut you. This is what Donald Trump was talking about when he was saying China was cheating. Hey, listen, man, they hustlers. You thought you was going to exploit them people? And they were like, okay, we got something for you. Now, I told you what I would do. Any American company that engaged in that practice, like you're going to go over there to get cheap labor and just leave Americans high and dry without jobs? Cool. This is what I would do. I'm like, all right, you better make sure you make all your profit there because none of your products will be sold over here. And then we're going to tax your ass heavily on the way out. Oh, yeah, we're going to tax you. We're going to make it cost you. And then you can never, ever bring your company back to the United States. You want to go inside with them and go over there and turn on America? Cool. Get out and don't come back. That's how I would deal with that if it was me. And then where that void is left at, the government should say, okay, look, for those who are business-minded and are determined to put American citizens first, if you are starting up any type of business or a manufacturing company, we will help fund you up to a certain percentage. You know what I'm saying? And give you tax break, okay? We'll give you some incentives to go ahead and create that and fill that void. And you'll get priority treatment as far as like anything regarding any type of contracts or whatever, you know what I'm saying, with us. That's what I would do. But see, you know, that's too much like right what I'm talking about. But, you know, hey, I don't know nothing. You know, Ski-Wee VP here is about to tell you what her plan is. Regardless that she had these 3.5 years, though, she keeps talking about this imaginary day one in her head. Let's let it continue.
800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America. What we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs, I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
I want to get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania. Sure. Do you still want to ban fracking?
Now, before she answered this question, okay, and boy, she got that mouth open, boy. She's been known to keep that mouth open. That's what got her where she is. But see, here's the thing. You're talking about energy independence. Well, they did one of the dumbest things ever when they got in office. They shut down the Keystone Pipeline. Let me tell you something. When you're able to feed your own people, okay, you don't have to be dependent on anybody else. Now, I'm saying this primarily talking about Black America, but when you extrapolate that to the country as a whole, when you're energy independent, now you're not at the mercy of OPEC where they can charge you through the roof for these gas prices and what have you, okay? The Keystone Pipeline, in addition to a lot of other things that Trump had going on, that made us energy independent. That's why the gas prices were so low. You shut that down, and then in a conjunction to making the gas prices go up when you did that, you put a lot of people out of work. There was some Black men that had them jobs, okay? Let me tell you something. Working on that Keystone Pipeline, I knew brothers that was making good money on that before they did what they did. They just destroyed that. They shut that down because, see, that. Let me show you something. When we use the phrase America first, that goes to show you that they're not America first because, see, they want, the only reason that you would do that, think about it. If you coming in as a new administration and you see the previous administration got something going on that was good for the country, you don't sabotage that, you build on it. So they shut it down. What does that tell you? That means that a lot of these Democrats and Republicans, but we're talking about the Democrats as that's who's in power, a lot of them have kickback deals and they're getting money off of this stuff from foreign nations also. You better stop to really analyze why all this illegal immigration is going on. And see, let me tell you something. For those of you that's gathered over here, like I keep telling y'all to follow the money, I'm going to give you something else to help you follow the money. Y'all know what I'm going to put in here. Because I want you to keep up with these numbers when it's time to deal with these bastards that come asking you for your vote. Let me go ahead and put foreignassistance.gov in here. Go look on that site and see where most of our tax dollars are going. You better understand these Democrats got all kinds of backroom deals with these people. Look at somebody like AOC, a former damn bartender. And then as soon as you get in there, your first 2-3 years, now you're a multi-millionaire in Congress. Think about that. What job do you know that you can go in there and they start you out with a base salary, okay, an average base salary, and then, okay, in the next 2-3 years, now you're a multi-millionaire. Now, if the IRS came to run a microscope up your ass to check you out, they're gonna find that you trapping or you got some Asian massage parlors going on, okay? And if you're over there on Patreon, you seen what I posted over there about that in the new tier about that to show you what kind of money they're getting. But see, and by the way, they do that with impunity. But you either trapping, okay, you selling kids, kidnapping them, or selling the organs or something. You got something illegal going on to get that money because you're not going to become no multi-millionaire off a regular salary job. Case in point, that's how these congressmen and whatever just come in there and they dirt poor, and then in 2-3 years, they got all kinds of buku money. This is what it's all about. They're helping their corporate buddies here and they're helping people abroad, all right? See, let me tell you something. I get it that the right-wing nut jobs can put a lot of stupidity out there, but there was some truth to that stuff that was found on Hunter Biden's laptop. Let me tell you, you know what? I might have to see if I can. I'll have to probably break that down on Rumble and go through some of that stuff because I saw it. I saw it. They didn't fake that. I know what the hell I was looking at. No, that was the real deal, okay? But see, you know that you don't hear nothing about that no more. See, if I was Trump, I would bring all that back up and tie it into exactly what we're dealing with right now. Never mind all that damn name calling. See, let me tell you what I would do if I was Trump. Or if I was an advisor to him, okay, a close advisor. This is what I would tell him. I would say, hey, man, here's a strategy for you. And he kind of did that in the debate with Joe Biden that he had where he just destroyed him. But I would tell Trump, I say, listen, I know this is going to be the hardest thing you ever did in your life, but we're going to switch our strategy. Everybody's going to expect you to come out doing a bunch of name calling and petty stuff. Keep that to a bare minimum, if not at all. Just focus on the facts and policy. Let them call you all the names. And that way, every name that they call, you can say, hey, look who's being the more mature person. I'm trying to solve the country's problems that they cause. That's what I would do. See, sometimes when you humble yourself, there's power in that, okay? That's what I would advise them, though. But see, we're going to let Cackling Kamammy continue.
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, I cast the tie-breaking vote that actually increased leases for fracking.
Yeah.
As vice.
Now, see, let me tell you something. If you caught how Tim Walz looked at her when she said that, boy, she shot herself in the foot then. To see, when you let a dummy talk long enough, there's an old quote by Sun Tzu where he said, when your enemy is engaging in self-sabotage, do not interfere, okay? You haven't read The Art of War yet, or the 99 Truths of War by Hannibal, The Black Art of War. You need to read both of those books because, see, let me tell you something. In the real world, she just shot herself in the foot because she's the deciding vote on a number of policies that have gone on to get the economy this way. The vice president, I hope you all know that. So when she said that, man, I'm telling you now, just wait till that debate comes up. I'm laughing because I kind of know where it's gonna go, okay? And I'm gonna have my popcorn and various snacks. I'm gonna be kicking back watching it because that's gonna be, boy. Y'all are about to see just how stupid this woman really is when she gets up on that debate stage, okay? It's coming. I'm telling you. It's going to piss you off, but it's going to be one of the funniest things ever. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something that a lot of y'all are probably going to be like, man, you tripping. If you put Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, in fact, the whole entire cast of Harlem Nights, all them brilliant comedians together, combined with Cat Williams, okay, Chris Tucker, whoever you want to name, if you put all of them together, none of that is going to be as funny as that upcoming debate between Kamammy and Donald Trump. I said it, and I meant it, and I'm going to stand behind it. Let's let it continue.
Vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Okay. Another issue, big one, is immigration. Mm-hmm. As vice president, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
northern part of Central America.
The northern part of
Now remember, I showed you earlier that they said, "Oh, she's not the border czar." Remember they said that? Then they flip flop and changed it. Okay, now you heard what she just said. Dana Bash answered that question. Pay attention to how she answered it now. Pay attention. See, I keep telling y'all, when we over here in New Black Media tell y'all something, we not just whistling Dixie over here. We scrutinize these people down to the letter of every syllable that they say. And when they start lying, we going to be on their ass like goddamn Dracula on Nix. I'm telling you right now, we not going to let off these people because where they tell lies is our job to tell the truth. Let's let it continue.
Of Central America that deals with, that affects the southern border of the U.S. Mm-hmm. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since.
No, ma'am. No, because there's a CBP1 app that you all implemented to fly them over here. You see this boy, if y'all vote for this tired shoe-faced heifer here. See, I don't know about y'all, family. I'm going to tell you something I have low tolerance for. I don't like somebody lying to my face. That pisses me off. I have to get away from somebody that's doing that. Because that boy, I have no patience for that. I don't. It's one thing to make an honest mistake, but somebody just boldly lying to my face like that, see, that's playing with my intelligence. And y'all, Black America, primarily, because white America, y'all see what you do. Y'all are partly responsible for this mess, okay? Because you sat here and you were quiet about a lot of the things that Black America was talking about, and now when it's starting to affect them, now they want to jump up and join hands and sing Kumbaya. Nah, handle your own business. Handle your own business. But see, regarding all of this stuff that she's talking about here with this lying, I just couldn't have the patience for it, because Black America, if they sitting here and lying to our faces, you see what they did to our brothers and sisters in California. You see what they did to our brothers and sisters up there in Chicago, okay? And Brandon Johnson, president, they're prioritizing illegal aliens, people that don't even belong here, above them citizens. You see what they're doing to our brothers and sisters up there in New York, okay? All around this country, they are turning on American citizens and lying to your face as if they're doing something to help you, when we can clearly see them using things like the CBP1 app to facilitate the undermining of America. These people have turned on this country. This is high treason. You hear me? I'm not being hyperbolic. This is treason. See, watch this. Let me put it to you this way, because you know you have some of the shield beaters. Man, he just reaching. Really? Let me show you something. Family, does anybody in my chat room here tonight think that what's going on in America right now, do you think that you could go to China, okay, and be a part of the CCP, and then there's a branch of the CCP in there that starts doing what the Democrats are doing here, okay, to that country, to the point where they're being flooded with illegals? Do you think that China would let that slide? Because, you know, we have to put it like that for the shield billies. Do you think China or any other nation would let that slide? They've got a group of people in a political party that's undermining the entire nation. Do you think they will let that slide? Man, look, the thing about America, they deal with these traitors over here soft. You do that in another country, oh yeah, they coming to get you, your firstborn. Let me tell you something. Go try that over there in North Korea with Kim Jong-un. You know he gonna throw you in the work camp. And you know, hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Speaking on that, that's what we need to send them, by the way, for the treason. We need to ship their ass over there to Kim Jong-un. If I had my say, and then when they got out of office, I'll be like, yep, we got a freighter for you. Get on this boat. We're going to send your ass on a Carnival cruise straight to North Korea. You going straight to the work camp for the treason. We need to hire Kim Jong-un to punish our traitors. You know, maybe we need to get some diplomatic ties with him, because I think that, you know, he knows how to handle that best. Over there in Kim Jong-un's work camps, let me tell you a fact about that place. They punish people down through generations of their family for what one person did. And there are certain people in those work camps that they were born in those work camps and hadn't seen the outside world. I am not making this up. Do you hear what I'm telling you? There are people born in his North Korean work camps that don't know what the outside of that place look like. They in there, gonna work until they die. Huh? That's what these bastards here deserve for turning on America. Let's let it continue.
We began that work, but I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border.
They keep saying that, and I'm going to tell you why I believe that's a bold-faced lie. Because one, they just keep saying it over and over. They keep saying it over and over. Okay, let me tell you why I don't believe there's any truth to that. If that was true, why weren't they talking about it before election season? Huh? See, we see some of us still exercise what they're trying to outlaw in this country, which is actually thinking, okay, if this was true, why are you waiting till now to tell us about it? Because notice they didn't start saying that until about this time here, okay? They didn't start saying that until about this time. Now, somebody correct me if you heard it well before then, because I didn't. You see what I'm saying? Well, he told his people in there to kill the bill. Oh, no. See, they doing that Christian Cinema Joe Manchin thing here. Boy, see, these lying bastards and bastardesses in that Democrat Party, not to mention all the other demonic things they try to push with non-procreative sex to our people. They got free abortion. Think about it. I've never in my lifetime seen at any convention they got an abortion van set up out there and got vasectomies there. But in the black, I've never seen anybody do that during a damn national convention for a political party. This is the first time I've ever seen that in my life. But the Democrats got it going on, and they're targeting Black America with it. I'm telling you, gotta be twice the fool it take to be one to vote for these bastards. Let it continue.
Security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock, and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl what passing that bill would have done to address their concern and a pain that they've experienced.
So you would push.
We want you to make sure the illegal aliens not coming over here at all. All that talking about fentanyl and all that. No, we talking about the actual bodies that came into this country illegally, okay? See, all that razzle-dazzle and deflecting, man, I got to give Dana Bash credit. She stayed on her ass on this, as you're going to see. She keep asking her legitimate questions and sitting there, man, with Tim Walz by her side, just lying. And see, think about it. To go to my theory that I think is going to be proven right by the time this all wraps up in November here, notice that Tim Walz isn't really butting in to try to change the subject or save her. He's letting her talk. Now, they know this woman's an idiot, so it appears like he's her chaperone, but I just want you to catch that. He's not really kind of hopping in or trying to tagging in, you know what I'm saying, to try to kind of, you know, bring up something. Hey, I'm just saying, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Let's let it continue.
That legislation again. I just want to ask
about... Not only push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
Just one other question about something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally, and there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws, and I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize the problem.
Generally,
I know you recognize the problem because I've shown you that clip over and over where Jim Crow Joe told us we're going to have to get more used to working with Hispanics now because they make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do. All of this was by design. So I know she recognized the problem. You've been a part of facilitating the problem. And see, that whole deflecting back to Donald Trump and stuff, talking about what he doesn't enforce. When Trump was in office, he was deporting their ass up out of here. He wasn't deporting them at the rate Obama was, but he was getting them up out of here. So all that horse crap that's coming out of her mouth, lady, we live in America. We can see what's going on this very channel. You can find broadcasts where I've shown you at Eagle Pass down there. Floods of them. Look like a damn standing army marching in the hundreds. Okay, and I'm being conservative with the number. Marching across the damn border. As if we just not a sovereign nation at all. Just waltzing on in here. They wasn't doing that when Trump had that stay in Mexico policy. As soon as they hopped their ass in office, they repealed that, and that's when the floodgates opened. I have family in Texas. I have family down there that actually work for the Border Patrol. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I've shown you all some of the same footage that I've been talking about here in the archives on this channel, okay? You can go and look for yourself. I've done the broadcast. Not only have I done it, many others have, okay? Now, I might have gone a little bit more extensive detail into showing you how bad it was, but family, all this stuff she's talking about, no. How can somebody trust you to fix the problem that you're part of the administration that caused it? Let's let it continue.
Speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the...
You mean the Inflation Enhancement Act, because there has been no reduced inflation, okay? There has been no reduced inflation. And all this talk about climate control and all that, listen, the Most High gonna handle the planet, okay? He designed the planet. He'll handle the climate control. You fix this economy that you broke, okay? That's what y'all should be worried about. But we know they're not gonna do that because, as I said, they designed all this chaos, this economic chaos here to enrich their corporate budget. See, you gotta understand something. There's this big goofy misconception that the Democrats are the party that's for the downtrodden and the poor people. These people are multimillionaires. They can't relate to the everyday struggles the Americans that are going through right now in this country with this economic downturn that they caused. They can't relate to that. These people talk about that, but they don't. Look, that's like, and I've given this analogy many times before, and I'm going to go back to it again. That's like somebody cruising through the damn desert in a drop-top convertible with a whole bunch of water and just pouring it all over their face, and you've been out there in the desert for 2 days with no water, okay, because you know you're out there for 3, you're going to drop dead as a stone. And then they stop the car and just look at you like, hey, I know how you feel, buddy. Got all kinds of water in there. They drinking all kinds of beverages and stuff, and they looking at you like, talking about, I know how you feel. How? You hadn't experienced none of this thirst that this person went through for the last 2 days there. You see what I'm saying? Come on now. And look at the look on this helper's face. Huh? Had the nerve to talk about my values have not changed. I didn't know you had any. Unless you're talking about the values that you have flat back in your way everywhere. I believe those values haven't changed, okay? Hey, look. Somebody need to go and find, cause boy, y'all better be glad that I don't know 50 Cent, because you know he's the master of petty. In addition to Diddy, I'm gonna tell you what documentary 50 Cent need to come out with. He need to go find Low Down Willie Brown if he's still living, okay? Low Down Willie Brown and put him in a documentary, you know what I'm saying, on you know, talking about, you know, how he helped Kamammy lay her way down to where she is now. I would love to get for 50 to go and do a documentary about that. We got to come up with a title for it, family. Y'all let me know some of the title names for the documentary in the chat room. Let's let it continue.
United States of America, and by extension the globe, around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations.
Oh, we know you spent 2 terms in California as prosecuting parents that were homeless for truancy. We know what you did as a prosecutor. Oh, bitch, we know your record. Yes, we do. Transnational criminals. Is that code for black parents, you know, locking homeless parents up? Because like I said, I keep going back to that many cases, but that one that stood out to me, she locked up that homeless sister, man, that was trying to struggle to send her child to school and trying to find a place to stay in, instead of saying, look, see, if that was me, I would have said, okay, one, I'm not finna lock nobody up for that. But if I saw her situation, I'd be like, hey, you know what? You really want to help her? Give her a job. Hell, even if it was just a job making minimum wage, that's something better than nothing. Help the woman get back on her feet. You compassionless bag of dog shit, you boy. I can't stand this hell for here. And some of these people keep talking about, We gotta vote for the first black this. First of all, she won't even say she's black. Oh, don't worry, we gonna get there. I'm just showing you, man. See, we got to start having long memories about how people mistreat us. And let me tell you why that's a good thing. When you remember what people do to mistreat you, that's a sign of you having sense enough and sanity enough to respect yourself and not let them keep harming you. You don't help them out after they treat you bad like that. We owe this woman a lot of political punishment. And those of us that are intelligent enough to do that, that's what she's going to get here come November. Let's let it continue.
Violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border.
And my brother Black Voltron Reloaded, you are so right. The father of Matrice Richardson had something to say about that. Oh, we can't forget our sister there. Huh? Oh, see, man, listen. Those of us that are in our right frame of mind, we got a long memory tied to her political record, everything that she's doing in conjunction with that now, okay, to harm Black America. And see, no matter what lies her and Joe Biden tell, one lie they can't tell on Donald Trump is he didn't put a specific policy together to harm Black America the way they have done during their administration. Let's get back to it.
My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it. And 4 years of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I think somebody told me 17 times since I've been vice president in Georgia alone. I believe it is important to build consensus. And it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Yeah. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone in mind?
Yes, I would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I would. I think.
Family, let me ask all intelligent Americans, no matter what race you are listening to this broadcast, a question. I got a question for you. Family, don't those of us that are familiar with this woman's political record, let's just go back to the primaries there when she was running against Joe Biden, huh? Let's go back to that. Don't you know this woman will say anything to get where she needs to be? Because at first she was going at Joe Biden's neck, talking about how racist he was, then talking about the sexual allegations and all this other stuff. And as soon as they handed her ass that VP spot, all of that went right out the window. He's a wonderful human being. You know, she hit the famous cackle. Huh? Who in their right frame of mind would trust anything coming out her mouth? Okay? Listen, her mouth ain't good for but one thing, all right? And it's not for telling the truth. Let's get back to it.
I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
Oh, you know we not done yet. Oh, yeah, we gonna go straight through all of it here. So she wasn't done yet. Dana Bash is gonna stay on her with these questions and see what we're about to get to next, family. Well, if you thought what we reviewed so far had you in a position where, you know, you are praising our beloved vice president, you know, the skiwee VP, as I like to call her, maybe what you're about to hear next is going to persuade you to go ahead and vote for her in November. Let's get into it.
I want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump.
Okay.
I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Any
same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
Oh, that was the cackle. Same old tired playbook. Next question, please. Okay, so now her and Roland Martin, her fellow tether, have something in common. Because we all remember when Richard Spencer asked Roland Martin if he was a black man, I'm a Christian, I'm a honey baked ham, I'm a boule buffet master, I'm an alpha, I'm a kappa. He was everything except for a damn black man, huh? See, let me tell you something. Any of us in this chat room, especially you sisters, if anybody asks us what we are, we say proudly, yes, I am a black American. I'm going to put emphasis on that. I'm a foundational black American freedman. You damn right. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Now, anybody in this chat room, do you think that someone that's a black person would just laugh and say that without actually addressing that and squashing that completely? Huh? I'm just asking. I've been black all my life. All I got to do is stay black, and when the good Lord is ready for me, I'll transition black, okay? Nobody I know would have answered that question the way she just did. Because, see, one, she's 100% East Indian. Her father has Irish and East Indian parentage, okay? So there's no black there. The only black that you could reach and stretch and say, okay, they immigrated to Jamaica and he's got Jamaican citizenship on paper as an immigrant, but genetically, that man is East Indian and Irish, okay? People that are reputable have said that many times. Y'all saw what I posted with the family tree. Okay. So then you look at her mother, who identified as Caucasian, again, an East Indian, not a drop of genetic Caucasian in her. How are you going to be raised black when there's no blackness in your household or your genetic bloodline? How? Because that's where it starts with your biological parents. Neither one of them are black people. Neither. And I don't give a damn about her father speaking Jamaican patois. Yeah, you can immigrate somewhere and pick up on the vernacular or the accent. Just because you start speaking the language, that doesn't mean that's what you are genetically. You look at that man, he don't even look like the lighter skin classification of Jamaicans down there. He don't. His facial features look just like Gandhi, okay? That's what he looked like, and that's what he is. Family, one more question for you. Do you think that somebody that's ashamed to actually claim their lineage and their race is worthy of getting your vote? While these idiots run around telling us that this woman is black, she won't even say it. I've never heard her come out and say that she's a black woman. Have any of you? I'd love to see that footage. Where is it at? Now, what I do know is she's already told us what she's not going to do for black people. No, she's told us that. As far as her saying, I'm a black woman, a proud black woman, I've never heard it. Let's let it continue.
That's it. Okay. Let's talk about some foreign policy issues that would be on your plate if you become commander-in-chief. President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel.
Look at that look on Tim Walz's face. He knows that this is going horribly. Let me talk. Look. That's one of the privileges about being in the South, okay, growing up here, okay, regardless of all the places I've been in my lifetime, traveled different places throughout this country, outside the country. One of the things that I appreciate about my upbringing is you learn how these white folks think. That look on that white man's face right there is one of concern. You see that? Look, watch this. Study his face, family. Look at his eyes. Look at how he got his lips pursed together like that. Huh? That's not somebody that's in pleasant spirits like, oh, we got this in the bag. He is concerned. And he knows he can't butt in to say too much, because if he tries to help her, that's going to make her look even weaker. It's already bad enough that you dare in the first place. Huh? Like you her grandfather or something. Boy, you just wait till that debate in a few days. Oh, my God. Let's let it continue.
Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Let me be very clear. I'm unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself. And that's not going to change. But
oh, we know you are, because we know what your husband is, Mr. Emhoff, that you married to, so I wouldn't expect any other answer than that from you.
let's take a step back. October 7, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to get a deal done. We were in Doha. We have to get a deal done. This war must end.
In the meantime,
and we must get a deal that is about.
Now, you know they've been dying to have those of us who are foundational Black American freedmen comment on this particular issue. This is one of the few times I'm going to make a comment on it. Family, you heard what this woman just said. If you wanted the war to stop, you would quit funding Israel and sending them military weapons from over here. They want to fight it out? Hey, let them fight the Palestinians on equal footing with whatever they have over there. How you gonna claim to want peace and want the war to come to an end, but you facilitating one half of the damn war? Make that make sense. Family, this shit ain't rocket scientists. These fork-tongued serpents, and see, you see what the Palestinians here in the Arab community here, hey, they've already turned their backs on them. And notice the Democrat shillbillies are not shaming the Arabs. They only coming to us. Huh? You see the movement they got going on, just like they did Joe Biden. Hey, they got that same movement going towards Kamala Harris. They're like, yeah, we're going to show you better than we can tell you. Huh? And see, I got to say this again. I'm just being intelligent on this border crisis. Let me tell you something. With all this stuff going on the geopolitical stage, don't you know that they let a shit ton of America's enemies over here? It's just a matter of time before there's some type of terrorist attack, and I'm blaming it on their doorstep because this is their fault. They committed treason against this country when they opened them damn borders up. Well, you know you was in trouble when you started seeing Chinese people coming through that southern border. Because like I said, the CCP is many things, but they're not stupid. They're like, oh, you're going to open up a direct route into your country? Cool. Let's go ahead and fly these low Earth orbital devices over here, the so-called balloons, weather balloons. And then we're going to send some of our agents on through that southern border. I mean, hey, you open up your asshole. Let me just go ahead and exploit that. No diddy. Okay. In a figurative sense, that's what they did. I don't want to say that too loud because the diddler will come over here. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll have to, practice my Second Amendment right. Okay. I don't want to drop the diddler, but you get my point. Okay. The Democrats have engaged in screwing America by turning on our people. They have presented the greatest national security threat that we've ever seen in this nation. Okay. They can't be left to fix it because they willingly did this to us. This was no accident. You didn't accidentally take away the stay in Mexico policy. You did that deliberately. Then you flew Afghan refugees over here. They have a problem with this country. How you know some of them wasn't the Taliban? Huh? Then you turn around and you're drawing some of the anti-Black Ukrainian refugees over here that blend in with white folks until they talk. Okay. They can't stand Black people in their country. I covered the news on that when the pandemic started. You saw how they was treating those African students. Okay. Huh? Then on top of that, you sit here and use American taxpayer dollars over the citizens that deserve help, that need the help the most, and fund these people that don't even have a right to be here. You want people with common sense to come out and vote for you, especially after what you just pulled in California? It'll be a cold day in hell. The Democrats must crash and burn, and we have the power to make that happen, family. Let's let it continue.
Getting the hostages out. I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get a deal done. When you look at the significance of this to the families, to the people who are living in that region, a deal is not only the right thing to do to end this war, but will unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed since I've been on October 8 to what we must do to work toward a two-state solution, where Israel is secure And in equal measure, the Palestinians have security and self-determination and dignity.
Governor Walz, the country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
No, you didn't misspoke. You lied. That's stolen valor, you bastard. And let me tell you something. Those of us who are actual combat veterans, we take that shit extremely seriously, okay? That's nah, man. Nope, no you didn't. They busted your ass. And I did a little digging into his background. Nah. You were not a combat soldier. You were not in any active combat zone, okay? You sit here and you told that lie because, see, that's a complete slap in the face to those of us that actually did that actually came back, decorated, and survived that hill, okay? And the many different deployments that we've been on, we have no respect for a bastard like this that's sitting up here lying about that for political gain, especially. But see, you know what? I have to contain myself when it comes to that. Even though I don't advocate, let me be clear again, for none of our foundational Black American freedmen, men and women, to join any branch of the armed services, because they will not. What they did in California is one of the main reasons why. You're not going to sit here and not pay us reparations and then prioritize illegal aliens over us. There's no way in hell that in my right frame of mind and conscience that I can tell and give the blessing to any young Black American and say, yeah, go and join a branch of the service. We've done enough fighting and bleeding for this country. Until they start to do right by us, I will never advocate for that, regardless of what I did myself, okay? I refuse to do it. I can't do it in good conscience. And see, when it comes to this issue here that he's talking about, I'm going to tell you something. While we're talking about the military, I said this during a previous broadcast. You want in America so bad illegal aliens? Okay. You don't get to come in America. What you do is at that border, there should be a recruiting station. Because I already told y'all, if I had my way, military base, 10 miles wide before you even get in here. Oh, you just got to get in America, you need asylum? Okay. Well, welcome to basic. Welcome to basic. Let's get your training started and you're going to earn that citizenship. So we're going to deploy your ass for about 5 years, okay, somewhere abroad. And then you make them 5 years, okay, then we'll see about getting you started to get some citizenship. You're going to earn it. You're not going to come fleeing from your country and then come running the hours that you didn't fight for or put anything into building like my ancestors did. No, what right do you have to just waltz over here for free? Pun intended. Let's get back to this damn lying, stolen valor, waltz bastards right here. Let it continue.
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war.
Yeah.
See how he tried to dance around that question, but see, shout out to Dana Bash. She was like, okay, that bullshit that you just fed me, that's great. Now, back to the question that I asked you. And see, family, that's something right there that I've been preaching for years, the type of focus I want our people to have. Somebody sitting in front of you bullshit like that, you let them get it out, and then be like, okay, now back to what I asked you, because that's not the question that you were asked. Boy, I got to give it to her. Boy, I know they hate the hell out of Dana Bash right now, boy. She probably made some enemies after these interviews here, because we all know the way they chopped this up, it was heavily edited. And just think, this is just what they could air. Just think about the stuff that they're not showing us. Let me tell you something. I almost want to put out a call to some of the CNN folks over there that's being mistreated. Do you have some footage that you'd like to sell some of us over here in New Black Media? Because I would love to get my hands on that unedited footage of this entire interview. I would, come on, Shield Billies. You know they're not paying you much over there. Hey, come on now. I would be willing to pay for that. I'm just saying. So y'all know where to find me. Let's let it continue.
Did you misspeak, as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct. But again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children.
No, your grammar is you told a bold-faced lie, you fucking coward, you.
Showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
I just one other question, because
she asked you, did you lie about it or not? And look what he did. See, this is why politicians are lower than cockroaches to me. This right here, not being able to answer a direct question. Look, anybody ask me about any of my service, look, 20 years in, okay? Well over 7 deployments, decorated on top of that. The only reason I don't really brag about that or show that off, I can show you all the medals I have, okay? I just don't want to encourage that for the reason that I spoke on prior there, because I just can't do it in good conscience, all right? So I'm just saying, you know, even if you count that towards anything else, if somebody asks you something and you telling the truth about it, you can give them a straight answer. It's not complicated. The truth is always very simple, okay? It's always very simple. Let's let it continue.
again, this is all new. I mean, this was not, however many days ago, this was not on either of your bingo cards, especially yours. You had to clarify that you had said that you and your wife used IVF, but it turned out you used a different kind of fertility in order to have children. And then when you ran for Congress in 2006, your campaign repeatedly made false statements about a 1995 arrest for drunk and reckless driving.
Oh, Dana, she was way too polite, but she has to be professional. She said made false statements. I just wish she had the liberty to come out and say, well, you know, your campaign lied, because that's what you did. You lied. And look at his face. See, let me talk to the men in here, especially young black men. Look at this face. This is the face of a low down, sorry, lying bag of dog shit. Look at that. You got that sorry look on his face like, damn, she's going to ask me about that? Huh? I'm surprised they left this part in here. Look at his face, though, because, see, I'm telling you to study his face for a reason. You have to learn how to read people's body language. That face right there, he damn near about to turn red, because that's a mixture of shame and anger for being asked that. Because, see, let me tell you something about white supremacist America. They're accustomed to telling lies and not being challenged on them. But when they're sitting down and being confronted about lies, they don't like that. They're supposed to tell the lie and it's supposed to fly, and you're not supposed to question it at all. When you put them in a position where you have to question their lies, oh man, boy, that's when you see that real inner pale snow demon come out of their asses. But I just wanted to point that part out there. Make sure you never forget that face right there, because a lot of you have probably seen it in your day-to-day lives. Let's let it continue.
What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wished in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that had those beautiful children there. That's quite a contrast in folks that are trying to take those rights away from us. And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've seen that. I've taught thousands of students. I've been out there. And I won't apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights. The contrast could not be clearer between what we're running against. The Vice President's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think what they're cutting hairs on is an abortion ban and the ability to be able to deny families the chance to have a beautiful child.
Vice President Harris.
Oh, boy, they not done. See, and look, let me tell you something, man. Boy, I keep saying it. When that debate comes in a few days here, boy, I'll tell you what I would have liked to see. Never mind just Kamammy and Trump. If he could talk to J.D. Vance and be like, look, keep your mouth together now. We're going to go in and tag team this thing. It should be Trump and Vance, okay, versus Kamammy and Walz. I would love to see it. Put both of them up there. Because, see, This is the thing about it. Let me hammer down on this. Young black people, listen to me. The truth is always your friend. Kamammy is full of shit. Tim Walz is full of shit. The thing about lying, you have to tell layers and layers and layers and layers upon lies to make the lie bind together, and then you have to double check your lies. The truth is much more simple, and people respect the truth. When you're a bunch of liars, it's easy for an opponent to pick you apart when the lies are right out there in the open. Then on top of that, you got to pick a struggle. You can't be a liar and be stupid like Kamammy, okay? At least Tim Walz is smarter than her. So he picked a struggle. He's just going to be a bona fide liar. But Kamammy is a liar, and she's pretty much incompetent. You can't be both. Don't you know that look, family, if you ever competing against anybody in any capacity in life, anywhere, if they hand you the beautiful combination of stupidity and lying, they've done you the greatest favor in the world as far as handing you victory on a silver platter, okay? I'm telling you, a competitor's dream is to have to deal with that. Give me incompetence and lying. I've got you. I've got you to the point where you start to get giddy, to the point that you might get overconfident, okay? And the only way that you would lose is if you messed up yourself, okay? Now, I'm just saying, I got to call it what it is. So they're going to continue here, and as you can see, Little Shoeface is getting ready to go into her flat back and lying routine. So we're going to let it continue and analyze the foolishness that she's about to let come out of her mouth.
You were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him.
Oh, my brother, my battle buddy, Cameron S. Wingfield asks why does she sound tipsy? Because she is my good brother. She is tipsy. She's gone off that yak, okay? And she probably went old school and mixed some Incredible Hulk together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, look, Kamammy, she lit. Look, let me tell you something, man. This woman, when she gets up every day and looks in the mirror, she knows she's not intelligent. Look, she can fool everybody else. Everybody can lie and claim, oh, she's so smart and wonderful. No, she knows better. Don't you understand that just to function in the morning, she probably got to knock a few of them back? She probably got good and lit before this interview. This is probably like the tail end of it. So that's probably why she sounded that way, my brother. I mean, I'm just saying. And look, in case anybody like, man, that ain't true. Look at this heifer's face. I know the face of an alcoholic when I see one. Huh? Maybe have we ever just stopped to consider this? And I can't say if or confirm or deny it, but it could be plausible. Perhaps the reason why they had her ass hid away is because she wasn't never damn sober. Hey, Kamammy, we need you to go down here to the boy. Damn it, Kamammy, you drunk again. Close my door. Pass me a bottle. Maybe that's the reason. Huh? Maybe she got herself stuck in a bottle of Jack Daniels and they had to pull her ass up out of there. So, I mean, I'm just saying, family, it could be plausible. Let's let it continue.
Be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of that. And so, one, I am so proud to have served as vice president to Joe Biden. And two, I am so proud to be running with Tim Walz for president of the United States.
Family, I got to pause it here. All jokes aside, let me ask my audience a question, because I just, I don't have the biggest channel. Salute and welcome to all of you that are over here. But I have an intelligent question to ask you, serious question. Family, which candidate running for any type of political office would you respect? Because it's par for the course for political parties, both of them Republican and Democrat, to take shots at each other. We understand that. But at some point, let me ask this question. Which candidate would you respect? The one that came out there and focused primarily, if not completely, on policy and the issues at hand that affect the country? Or would you respect candidate that come out there and every time they talk about something, when asked what they're going to do for the country, they bringing up their opponent all the time? I mean, they're not talking about what they're going to do. You keep bringing up your opponent. Which one would you respect? Which one sounds more business-minded and responsible as far as handling that position? The person that says every time you talk, see, think about it. Let's go here with it. The person that every time the cameras come out, they're in front of them, they're being interviewed, you ask them a question, they get straight to brass tacks without dancing around your answer your question with a straight answer and be like, hey, anything else you need to know? You start talking to them about policy, they start getting ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay, get straight to it. Or would you respect somebody that want to sit there and dance around the issue? Well, it wasn't my fault. See, adults take responsibility for our actions. Okay, the most responsible leaders, okay, the most responsible and capable leaders throughout history were not the leaders that passed the buck on to other people. Okay, Sun Tzu often said, if the orders are unclear, it's the fault of the general. He didn't say if the orders are unclear, it's the fault of the soldier, the mess hall guy. Okay, he didn't say if the orders are unclear, it's the fault of the tower boy. Okay, I mean the geisha dancers. He didn't say that. He said if the orders are unclear, it's the fault of the general, meaning that the buck starts and stops with who's in command. Huh? But they say she don't have no power as VP. So, well, hey, I got to go to the Bible on this one. If you're not responsible with the least of things, then what makes you think that you're worthy of handling the greatest of things? Let's let it continue.
And to bring America what I believe the American people deserve, which is a new way forward, and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago, where there is some suggestion, warped I believe it to be, that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake as much as any other detail.
Wrong. The true measure of the strength of a leader starts with that leader's intelligence, okay? That's where it starts. I'm going to say it again. This woman, notice I didn't say women, period. I said this woman, Kamammy, is not capable of being the president of this country. Are there women out there that could do the job? Yes. She's not one of them. She's not. Intelligence starts with leadership starts with intelligence is what I'm saying, okay? Why am I saying that? Because your mind is your most powerful weapon. See, you got to understand something. Like Trump or hate him, he was more intelligent than Joe Biden as far as handling international issues. Because, see, let me go in and tell you, I got to go back to Sun Tzu again. Supreme victory comes from having not to even engage in a fight at all, okay? When you can handle conflicts without having to actually put your troops in the field of battle, that's supreme victory right there. That means that you're better on the diplomatic end. You're better at, okay, hey, if you need to have something taken care of before you use your own resources, you have allies. Hey, you remember that favor that you owe me? Go over there and handle that for me if you want the rest of this aid money. Huh? Now, do you see where I'm going with that? See, this fantasy ideological crap that she's got going in along in her head? No, that should terrify anybody that heard this woman say that. A leader starts with how intelligent you are, how experienced you are at dealing with things, dealing with people, dealing with things as far as policy, okay? Knowing what pieces that you have to your advantage that you can move so that war, the actual warfare, is a last resort, okay? Because lives are going to be lost anytime you go to war, okay? Take it from me. I know. I've seen it up close and personal. War should always be a last resort, okay? It shouldn't be something that's done to enrich your corporate buddies that's getting defense contracts and all of this. No. If you actually care about American citizens the way you should, then that's how you would go about that, okay? So I'm just saying, man, this woman is not capable to do this job. Let's let it continue.
That we could discuss in this election.
Because we haven't had a chance to talk, I'm just curious, staying on President Biden, when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was a Sunday, so here, I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing, Madam Vice President.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces, and we had just had pancakes and, you know, Auntie, can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then
Let me point this out, because see, it's been a while since I pointed this tactic out to the audience, and I'm saying this. I know the older people in here get it, but I need to make sure that I bring the younger people listening to this up to speed on this tactic right here, okay? Particularly Gen Z, if you're listening. When you're talking business with somebody, and I want Gen Z to really catch this, okay? When you're talking business with somebody, they need not bring up anecdotal experiences. I don't need to hear anything about your personal life. I don't give a damn about your personal life. We talking business, okay? If you ever doing business with somebody and they start bringing up personal things that are not germane to handling business, curtly interrupt them, okay? Hey, that's not what we're here for. Let's get back to this business. I don't need to know about your nieces and your family, because see, this is when you know somebody is stalling for time. I told you she's stupid. She can't fool me. This is a personal version of a filibuster right here. This is what she's doing. I'm not trying to be enamored by your situation with your family. We talking to business around this country. I don't need to know about your family. Huh? Are you with me in the chat room? Do y'all feel me on that? Does anybody in here really give a damn about what her family, because her family is straight. Let's be clear. Her family ain't one for nothing. Some of the people listening to me in this chat room can't say the same for their family. They barely making it. They above water. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do the best they can to make it and take care of their family. This woman don't care about your family at all. So my question is, if she don't care about your family, why the hell should we care about hers? Let's get back to it.
we were sitting down to do a puzzle. And the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
He was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, "I'm pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you."
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you. My first thought was about him, to be honest. I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency. I think history is going to show that.
Let me help you with that before you lie, Kamammy. History is going to show this man had the worst presidency since Jimmy Carter. That's what history is actually going to show. Let's let it continue. The American citizens are going to make sure that the history books say that too.
In so many ways, it was transformative, be it on what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's infrastructure, investing in new economies, in new industries, what we have done to bring our allies back together and have confidence in who we are as America and grow that alliance, what we have done to stand true to our principles, including one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I think history is going to show not only has Joe Biden led an administration that has achieved those extraordinary successes, but the character of the man.
Is there anybody in my chat room of sound mind and body listening to my voice that would describe anything about the Biden-Harris administration to be a success? For the American people, let's be clear on that, because it's been a success for their corporate buddies. Oh, yes, it's been very successful for them. Oh, they've recorded record profits with all of this gouging that they're doing to the American public. So it's been successful for them. But for the average American citizen listening to the sound of my voice, do you consider the Biden-Harris presidency to be a success in any way, shape, form, or fashion in the main areas that counts in daily American life? That's my question. Because I don't. Not with what I'm seeing going on across my country. This is not a success. Hell, if this is a success, what the hell does failure look like? We better damn well not want to see what failure looks like if this shit is supposed to be a damn success. You think about this. The reason why I say the Democrats should be politically punished for the next 8 to 10 election cycles, and I'm being conservative with that number, no pun intended, because I'm not a conservative or a liberal, but they should be politically punished because you think about this. In just the span of 3.5 years, they turned this entire country upside down. You let that marinate for a minute for all the vote blue, no matter who, goofy smurfs, okay? The shillbillies that keep talking about we need to put them back in office so they can finish the country off? Huh? Especially if you're a foundational Black American freedman, really? What about this train wreck has been a success? Let's let it continue.
Is one that he has been in his life and career, including as a president, quite selfless and puts the American people first.
I just have to ask you both about two standout moments, aside, of course, from the addresses that you both gave, but standout moments that were perhaps unexpected during the convention. You mentioned one of them, Governor. A moment that you shared, that the world shared with your son, Gus. You were speaking, the camera caught him, so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
Yeah, I don't know as a father I could have ever imagined that. I'm grateful for so many reasons.
Oh boy, we got another crying dude up on camera. Oh boy, hey, all right. Tim Wallace, you better get your son. That's Van Jones' spot. They had another person on CNN crying besides me. All right, hey, Van ain't playing about that. That's Van the Crying Man Jones spot. Oh my God, fam, look at it, boy. I gotta say this, man. In addition to being the worst party for business in America, in addition to being the worst party as far as securing the country's borders, the Democrats, I just got to go on record and say this, they are against any type of masculinity in the traditional sense in that party. Every time you see a man in that party, he crying and either he that or he's sassy and flaming or something. I mean, I'm just saying, man, that party is completely against traditional masculinity. And we damn sure know they don't respect newborn human life. We know that, okay? They quickly want to promote you to get rid of your children, but boy, you better watch this boy there, man, with all that crying on CNN. He probably got a call from Van Jones right after that. Let it continue.
To be on this ticket, but that moment, to understand what was really important, to have my son feel a sense of pride in me, that I was trying to do the right thing. And
that boy hit that Kyle Rittenhouse cry. Y'all saw that face he made when he was crying. That's exactly what that reminded me of.
It was, you try and protect your kids, it brings notoriety and things, but it was just such a visceral, emotional moment that I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Hope. I'm proud of Gwen. She's a wonderful mother, and these are great kids. And I think the one thing is talking about the era we're in is our politics can be better. It can be different. We can show some of these things, and we can have families involved in this. And I hope that there was I hope people felt that out there, and I hope they hug their kids a little tighter because you just never know, and life can be kind of hard.
And
I'm going to say it again, and this is going to sound cruel. I don't give a damn about your family. You're campaigning to be the president and the vice president of the country. I don't need you trying to tug on my heartstrings because I don't have any when it comes to business. Let me be clear about that. When it comes to the country's business, and particularly even above that, the business of making sure that my lineage is okay, I don't have any heartstrings for you to tug on. I am as cold as glacier frozen steel, and you cannot pull on my heartstrings. What you can do is sit down and talk business and tangibles. That you can do. trying to evoke emotion from me. See, if most people in this country was like me, that symbolism crap would not work because that wouldn't move me in the slightest. See, let me say this to everybody listening to this broadcast tonight. You tell these shillbillies this. Don't feel good, be good. Huh? I'm going to say it again. Don't feel good. You should want to be good. And the best way for you to be good versus feeling good is to make sure that your economic situation is secure for you, your family, and your community. Let's let it continue.
Last question, Madam Vice President. The photograph that has gone viral. You were speaking, one of your grandnieces that you were just talking about was watching you accept the nomination. You didn't explicitly talk about gender or race in your speech, but it obviously means a lot to a lot of people, and that viral picture really says it. What does it mean to you?
You know, I am running because I believe that I am the best person to do this job at this moment, for all Americans, regardless of race and gender. But I did see that photograph, and I was deeply touched by it. And you're right, it's the back of her head, her two little braids, and
do you see what these Democrats are trying to do? They keep talking about how you feel. No, this country is in a crisis. We don't need you trying to put together these little cutesy moments. This has made me feel like, are you insane? Family, let me remind you again, this woman wants to be the stand in between, okay, as commander-in-chief, being opposed by Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un. That's just three to say the least. Not to mention the situation with Iran, because all this stuff that's going on where they keep funneling money over there to Israel, the Iranians, hey man, let me tell you something. The Iranians are going to become a nuclear power very soon. And I mean, within the next 3 to 5 years, that's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to tell you why, because for those of you that aren't aware, you know that they kind of squashed some of the issues that they had in the past with Russia. They're forming an alliance. Put it like this. If you see Iran join BRICS, I'm telling you, fuck around and let Iran join BRICS and see what happens. You think that a part of that deal isn't going to include them getting weapons from both Russia and China? You think they're not going to become trading partners with North Korea? See, I'm talking about reality. And this blithering idiot is sitting up here talking about feelings and symbolism, and they want to put this moron in charge of dealing with all of that? Huh? Man, boy, you can't make this up. Let's let it conclude.
And then I'm in the front of the photograph, obviously speaking. And it's very humbling. It's very humbling in many ways.
Did she talk to you about it afterwards?
Oh, she had a lot to talk about. She had a lot. She listened to everything, and she listens to everything.
She gave you your hot takes?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana. Thank you.
Yeah, family, that's what they say. They want her to ski weave from being VP to Cackling Commander-in-Chief, okay? Now, I reviewed that, and hey, it's up to you to make your own decision. But I'll tell you what, those of us in intelligent Black America, we already know what decision we have to make. It's not even about what we want to make. We know the decision we're going to have to make. Some people are going to choose the couch. Some people are going to be proactive, and they're going to vote for the orange man. But either way, they're not going to give the votes to the Democrats because this is what the Democrats will do if you put them back in. Take another look at this stack of executive orders that this man got to signing before even 3 months in office. He did this like the first month in office. Got in there, got to sign it. Those executive orders are responsible for the way this country is looking right now. Do you really think, if you listen to the sound of my voice, that you can afford to get another stack of these executive orders on Kamammy's desk? She'll have so many in there that, hey, she'll have to put the executive orders in a tub with her washed greens, okay? And that will be the end of Black America. Choose wisely, family, because see, there's one thing I want you to remember here for those of foundational Black American freedmen lineage. And I'm going to let one of our ancestors and icons explain it to you far better than I could, because this is what our position still is in this country, and we still have this work to finish in her honor and many others.
Mississippi is still a very rough place. You know, people is not just walking up like they used to do in the past, walking out, you know, shooting a man down or getting maybe 200 or 300 people carrying you out and lynching you, but it's in a more settled way. You know, they can let you starve to death, not give you jobs. These are some of the things that's happening right now in Mississippi. See, Mississippi is not actually Mississippi's problem. Mississippi is America's problem. Because if America wanted to do something about what has been going on in Mississippi, it could have stopped by now. It wouldn't have been in the past few years between 40 and 50 churches bombed and burned. You see, and this lead me to say, you know, all of the burning and bombing that was done to us and the houses, nobody never said too much about that, and nothing was done. But let something be burned, you know, by a black man, and then, my God, you know, you see, the flag is drenched with our blood. Because, you see, so many of our ancestors was killed because we have never accepted slavery. We had to live on it, but we've never wanted it. So we know that this flag is drenched with our blood. So what the young people are saying now, give us a chance to be young men, respected as a man. As we know, this country was built on the black backs of black people across this country. And if we don't have it, you ain't gonna have it either, because we gonna tear it up. That's what they saying. And people ought to understand that. I don't see why they don't understand that. They know what they've done to us. All across this country, they know what they've done to us. This country is desperately sick, and man is on the critical list. I really don't know where we go from here.
That was the great ancestor, Fannie Lou Hamer, and those words still ring true for those who are foundational Black American freedmen today. We have a lot of work to do to finish in that ancestor and many others' honor. And those of us that respect ourselves and honor what that sister and many others before us fought for, we are not going to continue voting for a party that issues us malevolent neglect at this point. But everything that I've shown you here tonight and previously on this channel, we are not going to keep doing that. This latest insult of our brothers and sisters over there in California, that affects all of our lineage nationwide. We're going to get on code, come together, organize, and hand them political punishment. Okay? So, family, I've made my case here tonight. Salute to everybody that joined us over here. Thank you to everybody that contributed to the broadcast. We're not going to take our foot off their necks. We are going to stay on them with nothing but the truth. And do not be discouraged, because, see, where we are today, our people didn't get to where we are by being weak and bowing down and taking off and running to other countries. This is our homeland. We're going to stay here and fight to get what we're supposed to have. And if we do that together on code, we're going to get where we need to be, and we're going to get what we're supposed to have. So with that said, salute to you, Black first. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in future content.